Okay. All right. Welcome to the Exploding Heads Horror Movie Podcast, episode number 41. Oof. I'm Dave Z, in case you didn't know. I'm here with the two best co-hosts going, Brandon and Christian. What's up, gentlemen?
Hello.
Shit.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
But
Yeah.
do you hate it now too, Brandon?
I think it's gotta go.
What an asshole.
No, I'm just kidding. I love it. Hello. Exactamundo. I'm even coming around on Exactamundo.
I'm fine with Exactamundo.
I love that. Hello.
Anything over double H.
I have
Anything.
a trivia question for Christian. Is it okay if I ask this real quick?
Do what you want. Ooh, I'm not the boss. Go
Christian,
ahead.
I want you to tell me this person's first and last name.
Okay.
He was the Roman general and statesman who turned the Roman Republic into the powerful Roman Empire.
Roman Reigns.
His initials are JC.
Jesus Christ.
Julius Caesar.
Wrong. It's Julius Bloody Mary.
Oh, wow. Yeah, here we go. You were at a wedding, right? Did you ask for a Bloody Mary?
No, I didn't. I'm a straight man. I don't drink Bloody Marys.
Well, there we go.
The audience has just been wowed not by that joke, but by the fact that you just told everybody you were straight.
Good one.
Let me just say right off the bat, this is the first time. No, it's not the first time. We've done this before, recently, but there's no future review. Well, I keep forgetting. I know, I keep forgetting that we did it a couple shows ago, but it was so much fun.
We just did this.
But this show is different because last show we had a good 5 RRRs, maybe more. I think we had like 8 RRRs that show. Remember, it was all these.
Yeah.
Remember, we're lucky to have. Right. See, this show we're lucky to have 3, and they're going to be rapido. So I mean, this is different. This is us just having fun. We have listener topics that were submitted on the group page. We have it's a 2020 show again. You know this show 2020? Guys are familiar with it?
Yeah.
I am familiar with it. Yeah. You
Okay.
said this is going to be all fun. We've been on for 20 minutes. When exactly does the fun begin?
20 minutes.
Yeah, we're lucky that we've even hit like 5 at this point.
Where
have you been?
We pre-game. As 22 shots game, we've been pre-gaming.
Oh, speaking of 22 shots in pregame, I have to pregame for JP in just a minute. Fuck it, I'll do it now. Well, okay. So JP appeared on it just
At
dropped.
night? He came at night?
Yes, he did come at night more than once, indeed. All over that movie, yes. So I'm taking a shot. 22 shots. Yes, at JP, because he appeared. It just happened today. It just dropped a couple hours ago on Kill the Cast. Something about the shot at the end of the bar or whatever it was. It was Jerry and it was JP doing a guest thing, and he asked for listener questions and whatever. And I'm going to interview him, and I just had enough time to go to the end. Jerry said, "Go to the end because that's when your questions were submitted." And he said something about me. He said, so I'm like, "Oh, I got to hear this," and I kind of knew where it was going. It was about Friday the 13th because you guys saw it in the chat.
Yeah.
You know, where he's calling into question my fandom of Friday the 13th, the franchise.
It's legit. You seem to hate most of those movies.
He's gonna go. Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
I don't hate them. I do not. It's my favorite. I'm not doing it now. This is a pregame because I was gonna shoot back at him because he basically said that he only likes parts 1 through 4. Wrong. But anyway, that's what he said. And I told him I was going to fire back right now tonight. He's like, no. He's like, hold it. Save it for the 86 show because we're going to be talking about Jason.
Fireworks in the background. 4th of July, motherfuckers.
Yeah, that's right. Canada Day.
Yeah, we just had Canada Day. Happy birthday to you, motherfuckers. I don't know if those are gunshots or fireworks.
In the States, you don't know. Right?
Is there an elementary school nearby?
Whoa. I'd like to apologize on behalf of my Canadian co-host. Too soon.
Speaking of Canadian holidays, I'm going to bust your balls. Why is every Canadian holiday have to either be the same weekend or a week before or a week after American holidays? Why are they always biting America's shit? I love Canada. I love Canada.
We got Labor Day. You got Labor Day. It's the same shit. You got Memorial Day. You have Memorial Day. We have Victoria Day.
Yes, but who was first? Did we have Memorial Day? Then you guys said, "Oh, let's have a holiday a week after they have theirs."
Memorial Day is in so that you remember all the veterans. I know you have. No, it's not that. Okay, what is it? What's Memorial Day?
No, I'm saying you're right.
Yeah, that's right. We remember all the animal doctors.
The vets, yeah.
No, the reason I say that, and I'm not trying to make a joke, is just okay. So Victoria Day is about the Queen. The Queen was around well before the vets that you're paying your respects to.
I don't give a shit about what the holidays represent.
Shout out to all the people who had to put their dogs down this week.
It's a new low.
Shout out to Dr. Sood. Yes, he's my doctor for my dogs. But anyway, listen, I'm not talking about what the holidays represent. I'm talking about the placement of the holidays on those particular days. You missed the point. When we have a holiday, 4th of July was obviously the 4th of July. So why did Canada come along and say, let's have a holiday right before the 4th? And then we had Memorial Day. Why did the Canadian government come and say, hey, let's have Victoria Day a week before or a week after, whatever the hell it is? Bottom line, every one of these holidays that the states have, Canada has one either the week before or the week after. My question is why? Why couldn't they just do it at a different time?
Or why couldn't we share the day?
Well, why should we share the day? We're celebrating.
Because we don't know who Martin Luther King is.
Right.
I don't know who this Victoria chick is, but I'd bang her.
Posh Spice, man. That's
that's what I'm thinking.
My girl.
She was in Spice World. Yeah, that's true.
So, Christian, I had to ask, because I used to work at the casino on the Canadian border. It's in the States. But every fucking holiday, it was bad enough that we had to have American holidays and everybody coming over. The week before, the week after, a Canadian holiday. We had all those Canadians coming over, smoking their brains out, not tipping, just being annoying. You know what I mean? And I love Canada, and I love Canadians. Not all. I judge everybody as individuals, but I'm just saying. Do you understand what I'm getting at?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how to answer it. I mean, we have X amount of I don't know why they just happen to fall a week before, a week after. Some of them on the same weekends.
They don't happen to fall. They did it on purpose. That's my complaint. That's my beef with Canada right there.
Yeah, Canada, quit biting our shit.
Right, quit biting our shit. Why not do it a month later, 6 weeks later? You know what I mean? Why do it the same weekend or a 1 week away from ours?
You're gonna have the 4th of September from now on.
That's a Monday. It's Labor Day, so we can't. Yeah, it's not gonna work.
Anyway, I know you don't know the answers. That's always bothered me about the Canadian holidays. How they have to. They there's not an original thought there.
You know what bothers me about the Americans? Here we go. There's nothing original. Someone decides they're going to have a baby. They give birth. How many weeks do they get in the States? Weeks. I did say weeks because how many is it? Like what? 3, 6?
If you're 6. A man, you're lucky to get any.
No, fuck the man. Women, they get like what? 6 weeks?
Yeah.
I don't know what.
It's like 6 weeks.
Yeah. Okay. We give 9 months, but that's fine. So anyway, actually, we give a year, a full year, a calendar year, because you can take pregnancy. Well, it's through the government. So your employer could top up, but you get 55% of your pay from the government.
See, I'm not knocking Canada. I love Canada.
I know. I just had a rebuttal.
I didn't want you to get the wrong idea. It's just that holiday thing pisses me off that they bite the U.S. That they bite the U.S.'s shit.
Okay, we'll move Christmas. Halloween is November 1st. Christmas is December. We'll get rid of Boxing Day altogether.
Too many head injuries on Boxing Day.
We're trying to we're trying to take Black Friday from you too.
Please do. My God. Ugh.
Are we a horror podcast?
What the hell are we doing? Hey, I thought we were gonna have fun.
We are gonna have fun. Okay.
I hate you guys more now.
I'm gonna sing. It'll make you feel better.
Perfect.
Okay?
Oh God.
Yeah, I'm gonna sing. Oh, it's the Christian song.
Oh yes.
Ooh.
Okay. No, I can't take full credit. I can take credit for the lyrics, but the song was inspired by someone else on the group page. By the way, join the Facebook group page, Exploding Heads. Get on that shit. You know, someone said this should be the song. I said, boom, thank you, got it. Don't say anything else. I told them I'll do the lyrics. So let me go. Now we all have a song. So let me sing it to you. Okay, and this is perfect because it's Canada and it's Canada Day. Okay. Mr. Christian, oh, the time has come. And you know that you're the only one who says Zed. 'Cause you're Canadian. Yeah! Canadian. How's that?
That's it? That's all I get?
What? This is...
Well,
You told this guy not to worry. You got the lyrics, and this is what you I'd like to apologize to the guy who you shot down.
I could have done more. I could have done the whole thing, but Brandon Don't Breathe is short. The Daisy song is real short, right? There's no easy way out. They or take the easy way out. No.
It's good. I like it. I like you guys again.
Okay.
Even though Brandon had nothing to do with it. The
Yeah,
States is A-okay in my books.
I actually am working on a follow-up to that song for Christian. An alternate version. A remix.
A remix. It's great.
Okay. Well, I'm going to add some lyrics next show. How's that?
I'll be debuting mine before next show.
Okay. It's a race. The race is on.
No, it'll be on next
The
show.
race is on.
The race is on.
The heat is on, I think it is, but that's fine.
It is. Yes. There is a song called The Race is On. And the race is on, and it looks like pride in the back step. Anyway, whatever. The Grateful Dead covered it. Canadian. Oh, yeah. Nah, it doesn't matter. Actually, I was swimming earlier with my brother today, and you'll appreciate this because you love the man. We were talking about somehow the topic of The Fly came up. Well, yeah, him too. And we were swimming in the pool. He probably had water in his ears or something. And I was saying and I said, I said, David Cronenberg, right? So my brother thought that I said, gave me Crohn's disease. Instead of David Cronenberg, he said, what gave you Crohn's disease? He says. So I just thought that was funny.
He had water in his ear and shit in his brain.
Did you guys see that suddenly two out of the 3 1-star ratings disappeared?
Only because you pointed it out on the Facebook page.
Actually, I
Isn't
didn't
it
know
great,
this.
though?
How many disappeared?
Well, remember we had 3 and they all came at the same time.
Yeah.
Right?
One disappeared, you said?
No, I am going to tell you exactly what's happening with it. Live on the air. Oops. I just pressed exploding barrel by accident. I kid you not.
Bluey.
Oh,
Speaking of exploded barrels.
So right now we're back up.
Get down, Dave!
Yeah. We're doing this podcast in Detroit tonight.
Hey, we're celebrating 4th of July in Canada Day. What do you want? Right outside the freaking exploding headquarters. That's why it's exploding. Fireworks are exploding. How's that?
Right outside GM, and we're at Flint.
So check it out. We now have 73. This is just the States, but 73 ratings. Okay.
What else
American.
is there besides the
Check it out.
States?
Oh, there's tons. Believe me. We have like 20 from other countries.
Nice.
Yeah, man, we're rocking and rolling. Maybe not 20, but whatever. At least 10. So anyway, we have 73 ratings. Now, 70 of them are 5 stars. We have the 1 4-star, the 1 2-star, and the 1 1-star. So 2 of the 1-star reviews changed theirs to a 5-star. How about that?
Terror Threads.
No, Terror Threads was the first, and they gave us a 2.
I would like to,
is
it possible to accidentally click 1 star when you're trying to give 5, and is it a pain in the ass to change it back?
It's not you can do it in a heartbeat. Change it back.
Oh, okay. Because I'm lazy and I've still yet to go on and start reviewing podcasts, which I need to.
I've been doing it. I've been doing
I just didn't know if it could accidentally happen where you click and you're like, fuck. I'll get to change this, and then you just put it off.
But check it out. Once you give a rating, it can't be erased. And I don't mean the rate. Obviously, you can go from a 1-star to a 5 because somebody did, because 2 people did. But you have to give a rating. Like once you give a rating, you can't like erase it and say I don't want to give this podcast a rating.
Yeah,
you're in there, whether or not you read a review or not. Once you put a rating on iTunes, you cannot take it away without giving a different rating. These people, 2 people that had 1-star reviews, switched it to 5. So thank you guys for changing.
Thanks, JP.
Only 1-star rating instead of 3. I think that's great.
It is great.
Yeah,
you know?
And we've apologized over and over for a Christian solo cast, so there's really no more to say about that 1-star review.
And I'll apologize for this introduction.
Hey, this is the kind of show it's going to be. I said last show it's going to be loosey-goosey. We're going to have fun. We're going to say what we want. We're going to do what we want, and we're just going to...
You just said loosey-goosey.
That's right. I did say loosey-goosey, and I'll say it again. Loosey-goosey. I don't care, you know? We're just having fun. I'm going to give a shout-out, a random shout-out to Sam Edwards, just because.
I like Sam.
Dude, Sam is great. Sam listens to all our shows, everybody's shows, all the shows I've done, people around, and the man, I've never seen him say a negative word about anybody. So I wanted to give Sam Edwards props.
Well, I talk to him sometimes in private, and he says a lot of negative things about you, but...
That's okay. It's not in public.
Yeah. He loves the show.
See? So, Sam, what's up? I wanted to say hello. Oh, check it out. Today, I had my phone in my pocket, and I was walking around, and for some reason lately, it goes off by itself a lot. Like, shit just starts playing. It's weird. Never used to happen. But
you sure it's not ringing?
No, it's not ringing. Cause check it out. I always have it on silent. I have it on silent. I always have my shit on silent. So when the phone rings or texts, I don't know. So, anyway, I'm walking around, and I'm listening. Remember I told you guys I wanted to listen to episode 40. Because I hadn't, because you guys both listened back and you said it was a great show, and and it was fun, and we
not
had a
to toot our own horns, but it was a fantastic show.
Just between us people,
it was
mwah, yeah,
bellissimo.
These guys thought it was one of our better shows, and I said, you know what, I haven't had the time to listen. I've been very busy, so I've been listening slow. So anyway, I had the thing in my pocket, and I was at my mother's house for dinner yesterday. And I'm in the kitchen, and all of a sudden, it just happened to be the place where I left off. All of a sudden, from my pocket, here comes Brandon, and these are the 2 words that come out: anal Earl. And I was like, what? And I pulled it out of my pocket, shut it off, and I had to rewind and go, anal Earl? What is anal Earl? Is it a person?
No, I don't know. I think I was talking about Christian when he did, what did he do? Slice and dice or slice and dice? Yeah, because Joey was calling oil Earl.
Oh,
just like he calls socks stockings. Remember, I made the joke that Christian got a new stocking filter.
Oh God!
I just want to know what went through your mom's head when she heard that. She's like, "What kind of tea do you want?"
Right.
Anal Earl.
Anal Earl Grey.
Oh.
It's extra nutty.
Okay. Oh, guys, did I tell you that Jerry finally told us what we have to watch for Patreon?
Oh no, no, you have not.
Piranha.
What was it? Oh, is this for all of us or?
Well, specifically me. You guys don't have to watch it.
Oh no, I'm gonna watch it too. The new Piranha or original Piranha?
The original Piranha. I've never seen it.
Oh, awesome.
So basically, because he knows, a lot of people knows a lot of stuff I've avoided intentionally. I'm not a creature.
Immediately you bring up Piranha, which we know is going to be a RRR, and you immediately use the word basically right after. Because we only use basically when we're talking about anything related to RRR.
Wow, again?
Yeah.
You basic. Basically, yeah. So next show for a RRR.
You've never seen it?
No, I never wanted to see it. I'm not a creature feature guy. You know what I'm saying? I never had to. I know. I am curious. I'm definitely curious to see it. So we're gonna watch it. At least I'm gonna watch it. We're gonna RRR. But there you go.
I'm gonna watch it. It's Jerry.
Yeah, of course it's grab ass and watch piranhas, right? So yeah, that's his Patreon pick for the month. So and you guys can do it too if you get on the Patreon. And I'm not gonna pimp it too hard because it's not our style. But get on there. There's going to be improvements.
My style. Pimp it a little harder than that.
I'm going to pimp it a little bit. www.patreon.com/explodingheads. So if you want to tell us what to watch or what to do or when to do it or whatever, go on the thing. Go on the page.
Yeah, again, that website is www.giveusyourfuckingmoney.org.
Org. It's always funny with org. .org.
It really is. I always use org.
I always used to think when it first came out that it was pronounced orge. I always used to say that. Yeah, because I associate ORG with orgy. I can't help it. I never thought of organization. I see the letters ORG. When I see the letters ORG, I think of orgy. I don't know about you guys. I'm just saying.
I've been to a couple orgs.
Organizations.
Organizations.
That's about it. We're going to have Piranha in. I'm going to watch it next show. And as long as we're pimping Horror Pack, if you want to help us another way, put a little money in our pockets, go to horrorpack.com/go/explodingheads, sign up. You get $3 off your first membership. And it helps us out a little bit. So, boom. And as long as I'm pimping, I'm going to throw out 5 podcasts. Quick. VHS Life. Get on them. It's my old homie, Michael J. from the Skeleton Crew, and John Rhodes. And you know them from Morbidly Made, and they've been doing this show a while, and it's full of skits, and it's fun, and check them out. Check out the Hailming Power Hour. I brought them up before, but I want to do it again. And 3 new ones I never mentioned before. Vincent Price's Laugh, Beyond the Void. Great name, ain't it? Yeah. Beyond the Void, and the Heavy Metal Horror Cast. Check those shows out. Boom. There you go. So that's that. You guys got anything else before we're going to go into emails and voicemails? We got a lot of shit to cover.
Yeah, no pimping for me.
All right, pimping ain't easy. Let's go into emails first and foremost. Okay, this is the Ram Man. Hey guys, I'm writing in again to express how much I've loved the past couple of episodes. You guys are constantly topping yourselves in terms of creativity and hilarity. Yes, thank you.
Wait to hear tonight's episode.
Woo!
Retraction.
Well, creative. Yeah. I have 2 questions for you guys. Number 1, for Brandon. This far into the podcasting game, do you still feel like a newbie? What advice would you give to anyone who wants to start a podcast? You have the floor, sir.
I do still feel like a noob.
Yeah?
Yeah, I do. I kind of like the moniker.
Oh, Rookie of the Year?
Yeah, I like it, so like I play along with it. Honestly, no, I'm technically not new since we've been doing this for close to 2 years. But in terms of advice for others, if you want to do a podcast, if you want to, absolutely 100% just fucking do it. Just do it. The most important thing that I would say, and I noticed this from podcasts that I enjoy listening to versus ones that I've heard that I'm not so crazy of, is just be enthusiastic about what you're talking about. If you don't give a shit about what you're talking about, no one listening is. We have a blast because we get on here, we literally feel like we're BSing for 4 or 5 hours, even when we're doing in-depth reviews. We're busting balls, we're having a good time, and those are my favorite podcasts. 22 Shots does that, amongst many others. So nice. Do it.
Nice. Yeah.
What is this, a Nike commercial? Just do it.
Just fucking do it. No, I'm serious because I was hesitant. I literally almost said no.
Wow.
I was nervous.
Imagine that. I know.
Yeah,
right?
Almost.
The possibilities that are just going through my head right now. I was like, what could this have been?
You could have been up to $12 on the Patreon.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Good call. You're right,
man,
though.
this is great. It works because of this.
Yep. And you know what?
I had done it sooner,
dude. Yeah. I'm glad you didn't. I'm glad we broke the cherry.
I'm glad that it worked out the way it did. But I'm saying, like, from the first moment I heard 22 Shots, which was obviously the first podcast that I listened to and started leaving messages for eventually, I said to myself, wow, these guys sound like they're having a blast. They're literally sitting around talking about horror films.
Yep.
That's what we do.
You can't beat it. And you have to have the right people with you. Because, like this show here, even if I have an off night, or any one of it, if I come on here and I sing...
Even if? You mean when? You mean when?
Okay, fine. I didn't mean it that way. I'm just saying, me personally, that, you know, if I come on here and I say some shit earlier that just sucks, it doesn't matter because I'm enthusiastic saying it anyway. So I can make something that sucks maybe not sound good. I'm not trying to toot my horn, but I'll say something and you guys will bounce off it. Like David Cronenberg gave me Crohn's disease. If you put that on another show, it might be flat as a fucking pancake. It might suck, you know? It's about your delivery. It's like I could be sitting here saying, hello, welcome to Horror Central. The other day I was in the pool with my brother. Guys, I wanted to tell you something. I can like this. We were talking about The Fly, and we were swimming. I said, yes, that was directed by David Cronenberg. Then my brother turned and looked at me and he said, what? Gave you Crohn's disease? It doesn't work. It wouldn't work. It works, or it's passable because.
Why did you go with that? That was so much better.
Want me to do like that from now on?
I want you to talk like that. Though I would. All right.
Could that be Dave Zed?
Yeah.
That's Dave Zed.
I want like an internal conflict between the two.
Okay, I'll sing Mr. Christian and Dave Zed voice next show.
Your next solo cast is Dave Zed.
It'll sound like William Shatner. Mr. Christian. Oh, the time has come. You know what I mean?
Speaking of Shatner, Crohn's disease will make you shat in your pants.
Oh, my Lord.
And we're out.
It's all whole.
And we've just been canceled.
Yeah.
Canceled. Oh, this is the two-part question, so let's move on to that.
Thank God.
Right?
2 parts for me.
For you three to discuss. Do you think a creature like a mummy can still be terrifying to a modern audience? If so, how? What would need to be added to make mummies scary again? Thanks again, guys, for your insight. Best regards, the Ram Man. P.S.
Use toilet paper.
What
would make the mummy much scarier.
I'm not going to lie, though. All joking aside, that it's not what does need to be added. What needs to be taken away? They're going extremes. They're going CGI and all this bullshit. That's what's taken away from it. Go back. I think the mummy, although maybe cheesy, and the Monster Squad, which is a throwback to the old mummy movies, is scarier than anything that they're coming out with now.
Oh,
and
the
that
Monster
is the old
Squad mummy was very scary. He was sort of like an It Follows because he's always sort of like chasing them.
Yeah.
He's always sort of walking at that same pace towards them.
Yeah, I love that type of. I like the classical mummy, and that is quite scary. And I'm going to keep talking like this.
And with something like the mummy, I think simpler is better. Sort of old school. Sometimes less is more. Don't show us everything. Let us use our imagination. The old school films were scary because we didn't always see what was going on.
Brandon, you just blew my mind. Like,
what were they follows?
Yes, because I was about to go on this whole tirade about how you can't make them scary because to me they've never been scary. Because to me a mummy is almost like a slow walking zombie, but there's only one. How is that scary? The idea has never scared me. Never. I never wanted to watch a mummy movie. I don't watch mummy movies. The idea has never been anything to me.
Have you ever seen Mummy Dearest?
I watched that first.
Scary.
You know? Yeah. That's for sure.
No more coat hangers. Is that the coat hanger movie?
Wire hangers.
No more wire hangers.
No more
coat hangers. Wire. What is it, abortion? I don't know.
In that case, you'd be the opposite. More wire hangers. I don't want any more kids. Fuck this. I hate being a mom. You know, give me wire hangers for the next time. Anyway. But Brandon made a great point. It is like It Follows. The mummy never stops. You know what I'm saying? He just keeps coming and coming. I mean, oh jeez, there we go.
Yeah, here we go.
They didn't.
Good
JP
thing he's covered in toilet paper for cleanup.
But even from a like a shits and giggles standpoint, some kids get locked into like a tomb, and the tomb could be larger than just a tomb, and then the mummy's chasing them around, and it just becomes like a slasher ghostly whatever. For the most part, I mean, you can make it simple again.
Yes, make mummies simple again. Should be a slogan.
Well, no, I think with some of these films like The Witch, like It Follows, where it's kind of even. I'll even give credit for JP for It Comes at Night, where they're going back to atmosphere and they're really, in the case of The Witch, focusing on a certain time period, but not like overdoing it.
Yep.
leaving all of it really up to our imaginations. What's really going on? You're seeing enough, but not everything, and you're drawing conclusions, and it's terrifying. Visually, soundtrack, audio-wise, and the dialogue has to be strong. But that doesn't have to be a mummy running around screaming with a wide mouth CGI like these mummy movies of the past. It doesn't have to be epic battles. You know what I mean? It's
5,000 people running towards each other.
Exactly.
Yeah, like 300 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like every movie coming out nowadays.
I know, right?
Show the mummifications. Show that. Like, have you read what that entails? Like, it's they pull the brain out of your nose, right?
Wow, let's do it. We'll put that in the Exploding Heads.
Has that actually ever been in a movie? Because that's actually a great idea.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it in the movie.
There it is. There's the opening.
At least the Wawas.
There's no mummies in the movie, but that's the opening.
No, the Wawas can come and pick up the brain and then fly off. And then there we go.
Movie. This movie's going to be ludicrous.
It's going to be great, man. I just had a picture in my head, though, of the witch era, whatever era it was when the witch took place in 1600s. How cool would it be? Maybe not cool, but what do you guys think about a mummy in that time period?
A crossover?
Could you imagine
exactly. Right? A tomb being discovered in that time period. A tomb being discovered in that time period. That director doing a mummy film set in that time frame.
That'd be awesome.
And the witches steal like mummy babies and they turn them into like mummy jam.
Mummy jam. Just don't make it a verse.
Yeah.
Just don't make it a verse.
Am I on the right page here?
Oh, you're on the right page.
No, but I know what you're getting at. All joking aside, but I think you can make them scary. However, Hollywood beckons, and it's all this high budgeted CGI stuff. I haven't seen the Tom Cruise one. I will give it a try. I admittedly did like the very first Mummy remake. Yes, it was overblown and lots of money, and it was more of an action movie than it was a horror film. But I thought it was kind of a mainstream, souped-up Army of Darkness. So I actually kind of dug it. I thought it was a lot of fun. It wasn't scary at all, but it was fun. No.
Yeah, I saw it once, and I saw The Mummy Returns once because I dated a girl that liked him, and she owned him, and I watched him. And I don't remember much about him, but I remember not hating him, but I'm not going to watch him now. But
there's an actual mummy fetish where people like to wrap themselves up like mummies.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, there's a fetish for anything. Sure.
I know. I just thought maybe we can get into this after the show.
I don't know. Ask the Ram Man. See what he thinks about it.
We could also do like a new wave one called MILF, Mummy I'd Like to Fuck, and it's just takes it a whole new, brings in that fetish thing, everything.
MILF. Oh, this movie could be something special, I tell you. It really could. It could be like, you know what the Exploding Heads horror movie could be? It could kind of be like Weirdo Yankovic's UHF, but a horror.
Yeah, there you go.
Right? Just like a hodgepodge
of everything. Yeah, exactly.
Wow, look at this. We're on the same level. Look at this. I'll tell you. Okay.
Exploding minds think alike.
Exploding minds. Nice. There's a P.S. Ram Man wants to know, when is Wazell coming back on the show? October for sure, because he has to give us the trivia. And
he better be working on that.
Yeah, I'll let him know. He's kind of MIA from Facebook and whatnot, but I still talk to him, and he's all over the Twitter. Not all over, but he's there. So yeah, Wazell will be back in October, maybe before. I told him several times, anytime you want to come on. So come on. Okay, so that's that. Let's go to the next one. It's our homie Marco. He says, "Hello." There you go. Okay, that's what he said. I read it.
Yeah, Marco.
If you had to choose one movie to watch for the rest of your life, what movie would that be? It could be from any genre, but no, Brandon, it can't be Picnic at Hanging Rock. That wasn't a good picnic at all. No, Dave, it can't be Home Alone, although I do enjoy watching you get bullied by a little boy. Christian? Well, I don't really care about your opinion since you are from Canada.
What fuck you. This guy.
Much love.
Much love. I know. You know what? All joking aside, to put a prick. He should be kissing my fucking feet. Why is he bowing down to you guys, the Americans? If anything, the nukes are pointed at you guys, and Buffalo's going to be beachfront for Canada soon.
Why didn't you give him a Jeremy? Why didn't you give him a Jeremy? Fuck you, you Finnish asshole.
No. Because I'm above that.
I'm finished with you.
I'm finished. No, I'm just saying.
Finished with you. That's my tagline.
I'm telling you, Canada's the future. The States is going to be Waterworld. Give it 20 years. I'm telling you.
I'm not doubting it. Believe me, I'm not doubting it.
Oh, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. But
hey, man, you don't know.
Well, you guys answer because I guess I'm not. My opinion doesn't matter.
I've had this question since you gave it to us. I don't know how many days ago, and I still couldn't write down one. But I will give one. But I don't want to go first.
A lot went into it. And I thought about it. And this isn't necessarily my favorite movie, because
Dave just had to pick a shitty movie that he doesn't really like to watch.
No, it's a movie that I love, but it's like I can't sit here and say. I've often said that Natural Born Killers is my favorite movie of any genre. I do not want to watch Natural Born Killers every day for the rest of my life. I just do. It's not something. There's lots of movies that I love. I don't want to watch Godfather 2 every day for the rest of my life. I can't. I would get bored probably with anything. So I had to pick something that I think I could watch over and over again. And
Two Girls, One Cup.
Not get sick of, or get sick of it. Well, yeah, I'll get sick of that right away. Only because of the puking, though. I saw the outtakes.
I can't.
I've never seen it.
I think even thinking about it is making me.
The outtakes.
I've never seen it, but I was on Facebook one time.
Saw the director's cut.
No, I saw just outtakes. Somebody put it on Facebook in a horror group, and it said outtakes for Two Girls, One Cup.
I don't want to hear.
And it was a YouTube type video, and I played it, and the thing is, everything that I heard previously about it didn't take place here. But there was a lot of puking stuff going on. And I saw that and I said, no, I have no desire to see anybody puke. It's the last thing I want to see.
You're going to very shortly if we keep talking.
I'll move on.
That's my fault. I brought it up. I did this another time in the show.
Yeah, you did.
Why do I do it to myself? Because just thinking about it now is making me very ill.
Okay, stop. I'm going to change it right now. I'm going to make you laugh now. I'll make you put a smile on your face. Okay, so ultimately I watched...
Shit didn't grin? Sorry.
Nice outfitting. Yes. Anyway, I decided.
What is this? Your own version? Two Headites, one podcast? You want me to leave?
You just said you didn't want to go first. Did he just say he didn't want to answer first? He goes, I have an answer, but I don't want to go first.
I just don't like you two blowing each other.
I don't like us blowing each other either.
I feel left out.
Okay, Friday the 13th Part 2. That's my answer. I won't get sick of it. And I'll tell you something. I love Part 1. There's a little bit of Part 1 in there, so you get that. You get the stinger at the end of Part 1.
Yeah, you get the 10-minute flashbacks.
And you get two movies for the price of one in a way. You get that. You get the fun stuff, the camaraderie of the group. So there's some comedy, some unintentional comedy. You get some kills. You get some scares. There's a little bit of everything in that movie. I was thinking of saying Halloween because I adore that movie too. But I think it would lose its touch watching Halloween and it being that holiday every single day, every time you want to watch a movie. So, and there's the summer thing that goes on with Part 2. I would be thinking about summertime and being outside and partying with friends. There's that atmosphere. So, there you go. Friday the 13th.
Good answer, man. I mean, I admittedly tossed that one around as well. So
cool. And I watched it this week with my daughter, and we loved it.
Do you want to go now, Brandon? Are you comfortable to go now?
Did I talk enough? I only talked 5 minutes to give 2 words. But yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't listening. What's going on? No, I'm just kidding.
You've been replaced. Yeah.
Really? Okay, good. Good night,
guys.
This
is your replacement. That's way more insightful.
This was hard. I was thinking about leaving the genre. But then I'm like, you know what? I don't want to leave the genre.
Nice. I don't want you to.
I don't want to.
Good.
It'd be much easier if I left the genre. I'll tell you that. Because thinking about watching one horror movie, it's going to drive you crazy.
Well, would a comedy be better? No. It'd be the same jokes. You'd be done with it.
Yeah, that's true.
Unless it's a good comedy. I've watched this. There's some classic comedies that you know the jokes inside and out. It doesn't matter. True. It's timeless. But,
you're right. I can watch Caddyshack every day. You're right.
I'm going to go with Fright Night.
What?
Oh, wow. Nice pick.
Yeah. Wow.
My original 2 picks were Ninth Configuration and Hedwig and the Angry Inch, but since they were yes, Ninth Configuration is horror, but not kind really.
Yeah,
sort of. Right. So I went pure horror, Fright Night. I love the film. Anytime I find it on, I'm watching it. I've seen it dozens and dozens of times, so I don't get tired of it.
It's such a hard question, man. It really is a hard question. I think we did have a desert island moment in the previous episode way back when, and I think I did say Friday 13th 2. I believe I can't quite remember, but I do recall something similar to this in the past. And if I went outside the genre, it would be between Back to the Future, Empire Strikes Back, and Raiders of the Lost Ark. And that was my way of being able to throw out those 3 movies without actually throwing them out because I'm staying within the genre. And I decided that I'm going to pick John Carpenter's The Thing.
Nerd.
Nice.
I am a nerd, and I'm proud of it.
And I'm pretty proud of it. Now that's a movie I might take. Revenge of the Nerds. That could be on my fucking list right there. And Empire Strikes Back for that.
That's my pie.
That's why
we got Bush. We got
Bush. That movie. Oh yeah.
James Cromwell's in it, man.
You just broke my glasses.
You just body slammed me. I broke my glasses.
I'm sorry. When you started talking, Chris, that's what it sounded like to me. I immediately thought of, Dave, you broke my glasses.
You just broke my glasses. Oh, I wish I had the board. Boom, soundboard. I can put it
the
in
thing, there. my friends.
Combination of Brandon and friends.
Those are your best friends, your brands.
My breads. We just made a new word. I hope that never catches on.
People, let me tell you about my best friend. Oh, it's catching on.
Oh, yes, indeed. All right, let's go on. Let's move on here. We have a message from Candace Orick, and she's very active on the group page.
Yeah.
And we love her. She's great.
Her last name is almost exactly the same as mine.
I know. Maybe she is related to you and she's embarraed.
She dropped the L. Let me drop the L. I don't want people to know.
Nice. Okay, so here's what she says. She sent us a message on Facebook. I wanted to send an email, but wasn't sure how, so I am messaging you on Facebook. I wanted to know if you guys were fans of horror movie soundtracks, not scores. And if so, what your favorite ones are. I grew up collecting movie soundtracks, and 2 of my absolute favorites were Bride of Chucky and Freddy vs. Jason. Both soundtracks had the best metal and rock, and I discovered some new bands I probably would have never heard any other way. Like the Kidney Thieves. Period. I love the banter between you guys and the round-robin reviews. Let me know what to watch and what to stay away from. Thanks for the fun shows. Thank you.
Thanks,
Stay away from Christian solo cast.
Only if you want to deny yourself the pleasure of one of the finest hours of the show.
It was a great hour. It was a great hour.
All bullshit. This is a great question.
It's a great fucking hour.
And this is a great question. And we have kind of, again, we tap danced around it a little bit because we've talked about scores and we have talked about songs from movies as well. Yeah, I did a little tap dance thing there.
I
did a visual tap dance.
Over here attacking the block.
Attack the block.
I'll go first since I've got some stuff here because I brought up things before. We all have, and I tried to think of new ones that were great that I can't believe I didn't bring up. But, for instance, Return of the Living Dead soundtrack.
Boom. Yes.
Return of the Living Dead 2 soundtrack. It's underrated. People hate that movie, but that soundtrack is actually quite good. And then Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. A lot of people don't think about it, but it's got a great soundtrack to it.
Yes, it does. You're right.
If you really want, start with that Return of the Living Dead and then move on from there. Most of them can be found on YouTube. Or you can probably find them. I actually have Return of the Living Dead. Legit, I got the CD.
Me too.
These are
soundtrack. These are. I'm sorry to interrupt, but these are
songs, not scores. Yeah,
they're lyrical songs. Oh, okay. All right.
Soundtracks. Yep. Yeah. Regular soundtracks.
So like some of the Cramps, Surfing Dead, of course, is a big hit from Return of the Living Dead. But that they've got some other great ones there as well. But yeah, check out those 3 soundtracks for sure. Hardware, there's a couple good songs we've mentioned before. There's Ministry has Stigmata, and they've got Public Image Limited, which is The Order of Death. Those 2 songs are fantastic. But the rest of the soundtrack is an actual score to the movie. So I think there's another track, but the rest of them are score. And then Who Made Who? AC/DC, Who Made Who? The Maximum Overdrive soundtrack.
Yeah.
The official Maximum Overdrive soundtrack. That's another one I'll throw out there.
It's like a greatest hits of AC/DC, but it has like I think they did Who Made Who was the original, and then two instrumentals
DT.
Also,
yeah, I think it was
DT, and I think there was a third one, Chase the Ace, I think it was called.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. I had the cassette way back in the day. Matter of fact, I had a denim jacket. Remember back in the day when headbangers would sometimes wear denim jackets with patches on the back?
Yep.
I had one, and it was Who Made Who.
That's awesome.
That was my patch. Ooh. Yeah, I know. Could you imagine picturing me with a freaking? I had a gray denim jacket and a Who Made Who fucking patch on the back.
More on that movie when we do the '86 show with the 22 Shots boys.
Indeed.
Who made who?
Yep.
Maximum Overdrive.
Oh.
Yeah. Same thing. Soundtrack, movie. I'll go last because I have. Christian only took one of mine, but it was a very obvious one. I figured someone else would say Return of the Living Dead because it really is a great one. But
okay,
I have like 6 or 7, so go ahead, Brandon.
Here's a very simple explanation for the way I do mine, because honestly, I could say to this day, I don't think I've ever listened to a complete horror movie soundtrack.
Well, that's okay. You watch the movies and you know the songs in it.
That's the thing. What I tend to do, and even to this day, is if I'm watching a television show or a movie, anything, if I hear a song I like, I find out who sings it, I download it, it goes on my iPod. And so I just immediately thought of 10 to 15 songs that I have downloaded at one point or another or listened to that to me are not only iconic for these specific movies, but are great songs.
Milkshake?
Milkshake. I like that song.
So, we got Hurdy-Gurdy Man from Zodiac.
Ah, nice.
Freebird, Devil's Rejects.
Nice.
Yep.
Paint It Black from Stir of Echoes.
Yeah.
Don't Fear the Reaper and Eve of Destruction, both in The Stand. Even though Eve of Destruction was sung by one of the characters. I love that song.
And Don't Fear the Reapers in Halloween.
Yes,
yeah, I was gonna say Don't Fear the Reaper. It's in other movies,
tons
but
of movies,
I love the opening of The Stand when it's playing.
Thank you. No one ever brings it up. Everybody always associates Don't Fear the Reaper with Halloween, but the first time I saw The Stand and that intro and that song being played, that always stuck with me the most because it's barely in Halloween. I mean, they're driving and it's in the background, but it's more prominent in The Stand. So I'm totally with you on that.
Can I admit something to you boys? I've never seen The Stand.
Really?
Never seen it. No.
I picked it as my best movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like I picked it as my best movie of that year because it was such a poor year, and the movie's only like a 6 out of 10. But I picked it when we did our top 40. That was my pick for that year.
I'll have to confirm that, but I'm pretty darn sure I have not seen that movie because I know a lot about it. I knew it was a TV miniseries, but I'm almost positive I have not watched it.
You'll enjoy it. It's worth a watch. It's very 90s. Molly Ringwald's in it. I'm telling you.
See, now I'm thinking I saw But I'll have to check it out. But cliffhanger, but I'm like 95% sure I haven't seen the film.
All right.
We'll get back to it in like 5 minutes. I saw it.
Cliffhanger, right? Done.
We'll look it up on the B. I'm like, oh, yeah.
Goodbye, Horses. Silence of the Lambs.
Shit. And
I love that
song. Well, you just danced to it last night.
I did, and I go full tuck.
Yeah, you did the
full
puss.
Tuck.
Nice.
Full tuck. Oh yeah.
Well, that doesn't take too much.
Yeah, that's not much.
Well, in his defense, hold on. It does have to be big enough to be pulled back and squeezed. If it's real small, you can't even tuck it back. It's
that's
just a little
true.
nub.
I pull it all the way under, and then I stick the tip in my butt.
I wish I could have used that way back when as a pickup line. Hey, I'm big enough to do the Sons of the Lambs dick tuck. Want to go home and party?
You know? Absolutely. Well,
Christian, you of course mentioned Dramarama, Pseudo Echo. You've mentioned. Did you mention The Fix for House of the Devil?
No,
I know I did. I've not. Yeah. No, good. It is a great song. Yeah.
Some of the more recent ones, obviously, Metallica, For Whom the Bell Tolls, and Devil's Candy, and there's a lot of good songs in that.
Indeed.
Waving Goodbye for Neon Demon, that Sia song at the end. I fucking love that song. Echo and the Bunnymen, Killing Moon from Donnie Darko. Yeah. Donnie Darko soundtrack. The whole soundtrack actually is a great soundtrack.
Yeah, Tears for Fears. Yeah.
Tears for Fears. They got Duran on there.
Yeah.
They got a good soundtrack there. Give It Up, Fright Night. Love the song.
Oh yeah, I only saw it once, so I don't remember. But
and one of my favorites that I actually discovered last year when doing that movie challenge, it's called Cassie's Song from Hard Rock Zombies.
Cool.
Really good song.
Hard Rock Zombies.
Speaking of which, there's one, Alice Cooper. I did have it on there too. Like Constrictor was the album, but for whatever reason, it didn't have Hard Rock Summer on it. It had Teenage Frankenstein and He's Back, the Man Behind the Mask, both from, of course, Jason Lives. but Hard Rock Summer was not on that and didn't get released until they released that big box set, like The Life and Crimes of Alice Cooper, whatever it was.
Oh, no shit.
It was a huge box set, and that's when it finally got released. Very bizarre.
Was it released on the Friday 6 soundtrack?
I don't believe there was an official Friday 6 soundtrack.
I know there's a score, but yeah.
I think it was Constrictor, and that's why in the linear notes it would say these songs were from the motion picture Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives. I believe. I'm going by memory from the cassette. I might even have the CD here, but I don't want to. Yeah? When we take a break, I'll go check.
Right on. Cool. You got more B, or you good?
I'm good. That's my 15.
All right, that's a lot of good songs. Good. Okay, well, there you go. You said Devil's Candy. I was going to say that. So that's been said. Okay. Night of the Demons. Night of the Demons. Nice. Good soundtrack. Yes. Yeah. All the stuff on there, Stigmata, Martyr, just all the songs they just fit in with the movie. It's just good shit, Trick or Treat, Fast Way, Sammy Kerr. I mean, shit.
I had that listed too. Great, yeah.
If you want to listen to, if you're into hair metal and you like that movie, that's an album you can put on. You know what I mean? And just freaking kick it and listen to that album.
Tear down the walls!
This boy's had enough. How about that one?
Stand up!
Yeah.
This boy's had enough. You got the singing voice. I don't.
Christine. All those old classics in Christine. And the way they use them, how they go to each death. I mean, you got Bad to the Bone in the beginning when it's born, and then you got the guy getting crushed, skinny as a stick of macaroni, and just all the songs that were used in that movie, They were used so good in that movie. They fit the scenes, they fit the story, but they're all really good songs if you like those old-fashioned songs. So
I think it's an underrated Carpenter film. I think
it's my third favorite.
Yeah, I'm saying it grew on me because I liked it. I liked it when I first saw it. Never saw it in the theater. Saw it on video. But I liked it when I first saw it. But everything I read about it was so negative. But looking back, I did it when we were doing when I was on Postmortem. I watched it like two times for that show, and I was like, I love this movie. Some things that could have been done better, but it's one of my favorite Carpenters. Like right there with like Halloween. It's a Halloween thing. The Fog and Christine. That little 4-pack there.
Jesus will always be my favorite Carpenter.
That was a fucking good joke. Probably your best.
I'm sorry, it's very quiet. I feel like I needed to throw a joke in there.
Yeah, I guess we were due. Yeah. Okay, back to soundtracks.
I guess.
It's been 41 episodes.
House of a Thousand Corpses. Love it.
Nice.
Rob Zombie has like 5 original songs on it, and they're all great. I think it's Rob Zombie's best work, period, as far as listening to an album. It goes above and beyond what he usually does for his music. And I like some of his music, but House of a Thousand Corpses, great songs. And there's other songs from other groups on there that fit in with the movie. And it's a good one just to sit down and listen to beginning to end. So that's good stuff. Devil's Rejects as well. The way Rob Zombie uses music in that, it's almost like a Tarantino or a Scorsese film. You know what I mean?
Always thought Devil's Rejects was like the horror version of a Tarantino. From the dialogue, from the presentation, from the characters, from how you just talked about the soundtrack and the use of the soundtrack. Yeah,
he does. That's one thing about Rob Zombie, that when he wants to do it. Granted, it got old hat, and at 31 he was trying to do it. I don't know. It was too. Whatever. I'm not going to get into it. It seemed contrived there, but in Devil's Rejects and Corpses, it was fresh. It was great. Even the first Halloween. But anyway, I digress. And while we're on that, I'm going to digress some more.
Perfect.
Boogie Nights.
It's been a while.
Boogie Nights. It's not horror. Boogie Nights is a great soundtrack, and on top of that, it's an excellent movie. And if anybody hasn't watched Boogie Nights, please do. I think it's like on my top 10 favorite movies of all time.
Oh yeah, no, I was a big Paul T. Anderson fan.
It's a magnificent film. It's great. The way they use music, the acting, the way it looks. People look at the subject matter.
The way it looks?
Not it.
The cock at the end.
Yeah. Well, the way it looks in my mouth.
Roller Girl. That's a great. No, it was a great movie. That and Trainspotting were two of my favorite movies for a long time. I happened to see them in the theater. Loved them right out of the gate. I think that was 96, 97. Like it was a couple great films right there. And that's when horror was kind of taking we're getting the shit in the theater. You get like Lord of Illusions, but then you get like shit. And then Scream came, of course, but then as you said, it didn't rejuvenate shit.
Right. Right, exactly. But Boogie Nights, I think that movie's on par with like a Scorsese or a Tarantino film. I really think that it's that damn good. It's like the Goodfellas. It's like Goodfellas of the porn world. 100%.
That's how it plays out. Yeah.
There's a climb. Yeah, there's a climb. There's a decline. There's actually,
there's a climax.
There's a few climaxes. There's
on a roll
contrasting scenes. But anyway, enough of that. I gotta pimp that movie anytime I can. But The Craft. The Craft it's a movie I really like. It's a great soundtrack, and they use the music really well in that film. And there's a lot of covers in it, but not everything's a cover. But watch The Craft and listen to that soundtrack, and I'll tell you, there's some good shit on there. So there you go. That's what I got.
Nice.
Awesome.
Boom. Okay. This is the one for you, Brandon.
For me?
For you. Okay. Hey, Dave. Way back. This is Jim K. Way back on episode 11, Brandon
Toronto?
started. Yep, from Toronto. It's him. That's right. Same, one and the same. Can you believe it? Brandon started on a 100 obscure movie challenge, and I decided to be a glutton for punishment and take on the challenge myself. Overall, it was hit and miss, with some movies being absolutely dreadful and others being pretty good. I'm about 85 movies in, and the rest I cannot for the life of me track down. They are the following: Alien Outlaws, Spirits, Mongrel, Uninvited, Divine Enforcer, Witch Academy, Vampire Cop, Vampire's Embrace, Laser Blast, Teen Vamp, Cannibal Hookers, Invisible Maniac, Vineyard, Regenerated Man, and Darkness. I was wondering if Brandon or maybe even you could help me track down these movies. You don't have to read this on the pod. Well, too bad.
Oh, shit.
I always do. Jim, you know I do. I know I might be backtracking, but it would be interesting if Brandon could give a top 5 best and worst from this challenge for me. It was pretty difficult because most of these movies were bunched up ratings-wise, either in the best or worst. Here are my list, excluding the 15 I haven't seen, of course. The worst: Curse of the Blue Lights, Dream Maniac, Nightmare Weekend, Dear God No, and Satan's Cheerleaders. The best: The Hearse, Soul Survivor, Ticks, The Unborn, The Baby. I'm going to stop right there, and I want to hear Brandon's reaction to that.
I kind of like Dream Maniac. It's not one of my top 5, but
what?
His
That's
what?
The 86 Dream Maniac?
Yeah, I said it's not a top 5, but I liked it. It's not a bottom 5.
What? It's fucking horrible.
You did not see this 100 list. You did not know what horrible is. In fact, 2 of the movies that he mentioned that he needs to watch, Spirits, which has Eric Estrada in it, is one of the worst films ever made, and Cannibal Hookers, which I had a tough time finding. I actually reached out to the director, who sent me a link to an eBay copy on sale for $70. Fuck you, asshole. Is by far, Vampire Hookers is I shouldn't say by far, but is easily the worst movie on that list, and probably one of the worst movies I've ever seen. It's so bad, the director has the same scene in the movie twice. It plays through, and then it starts over again and plays again. They didn't even edit the movie properly.
Wow.
I got to tell you, and I don't know, maybe I have to save it, but I just don't know how that 86 show is going to go, because you guys told me sometimes we don't even talk about the bad ones, you just talk about the good ones. So I don't care.
Dream Maniac's not making my list, but I'm saying of these 100 obscure movies, Dream Maniac was far from the bottom.
Okay, well, imagine, Christian?
I can't imagine, because that's exactly it, because from the 86 show, I think I've got, and I might be very hard here, but I think I've got...
I'm hard here.
4, yeah. I've got 4 zeros from that year.
4 zeros?
Zero.
And Dream Maniac is one of them.
Dream Maniac is not a zero.
It's a fucking 0. It's a 0. Shot on video, Drek. And I'm not against shot on video, because the first thing they're going to say, I remember Moon's just like, oh, you just don't like SOV. It has its own. No, I could take SOV when it's done well. It's horrible. Horrible. There's no H there. I dropped the H. It's horrible.
It's so horrible.
I can't wait to do this show zeros. I mean, I'm not enjoying a lot of the movies, I'm being honest. Some of them are starting to pick up, but I haven't given any zeros out. Not
so
in a while.
they have vampire hookers. Yeah, fuck that, 0. That's crazy. Vampire hookers. That's one of the ones that he say
Cannibal hookers.
Oh, sorry, cannibal. That's one of the ones that he said he couldn't find.
Yeah. Also, Vampire Cop, which he can't find, is horrible.
Don't bother then.
Spirit is horrible. I understand he wants to finish the list, and I'll help him.
Fair enough.
I thought The Chair was kind of ridiculous. I'm not a big fan of the movie Witchery, but it's far from the bottom. At least it's beautifully transferred by Scream Factory. In terms of some of my favorites, not obviously shooting out the names of the top films on there, which are pretty easy to spot, like Rituals and The Hearse. I liked Blood Tracks.
That movie.
It was like a Swedish Hills Have Eyes to me.
Really?
Yeah, that's how I felt about the film. I liked it. Curse of the Queer Wolf. Got to see it. Got to see it to believe it.
I remember you were higher on that one, right? You liked that one, yeah.
Of course.
Hell yeah.
Dave, yeah, well, I don't mean it like that, but Dave, you always say you could judge a book by its cover. You could do the movie test. Look at that cover for Dream Maniac.
I'll tell you something. That was featured on Netflix for the longest time, Dream Maniac, and I never watched it because of that cover. I thought it looked awful.
You guys are fucking.
What would you give it? I want to hear.
I can't say anything now because it's already been spoiled. But I figure looking at it, it would be a 5 out of 10.
I think that's what I gave it. I think that's what I gave it.
Maybe a
5 out of 10.
Well, just judging by, I'm playing the game of judging it by the cover.
I'm gonna rewatch it for the '86 show because I haven't watched it since last year. But also some of the others to check out. Some of my favorites: The Black Room, Hard Rock Zombies, which I rave. That movie needs a Blu-ray release, and The Carrier, which is fucking awesome. And I know he mentioned Soul Survivor. I'm a big fan of that film as well. There's a lot of good ones on this list. There really are. I will help you search for those last 15 movies because I'm not sure where I found them. YouTube, other questionable sites, but it was hard, honestly, because some of these films don't have releases, and I'm not spending, $95 on a VHS copy of Cannibal Hookers, which is the worst movie ever made that I've finished.
And I can't promise any of those will be on the sites, but I did drop a link of the 16 best free streaming sites available. So if you maybe check there, I can't guarantee any of them are going to be there, but you never know.
She's very nice of you, you jaded bastard. Giving out zeros left and right. Oh, and also, by far, the second worst film on the list is the film I saved for last, which was Boarding House. Now that's a 0.
Damn. Frickin' 0. That's crazy.
That's a 0. Cannibal Hookers is a 0. Boarding House is a 0. And Christian's Attitude is a 0.
Oh, my attitude's bang on. What the fuck did you give Nightmare Weekend? I can't. There's too many 86 movies here, but these movies
Nightmare Weekend is terrible too. But if you watch some of these films, like Spirits or Cannibal Hookers, you'll be begging to watch Nightmare Weekend after. Nightmare Weekend, I'm not rewatching for 86 because that movie's garbage.
I'm not watching it either. See, that's the difference between me and you guys when it comes to the shows on 22 Shots. I know I'm not watching shit movies.
No, but I kind of want to rewatch Dream Maniac now because, like I said, I was about a 5. You know what? I wish I had kept the list because I don't think I graded these. I think I just watched them and checked them off and then read them off on the show. But I never graded them and kept the list. So I should have graded them and kept the list so I could have gone back to it. But I'm going to rewatch that, and I'll maybe for next show and do it as a triple R.
Do it up. See me? No. I got no time for 5s. That's my slogan.
Well, these are not even 5s. These are fucking zeros.
4 zeros. Can you? I kind of.
I got 4, but I don't know if we're going to get to them on the show.
I got one movie that's a 4. One movie that's a 4, and one movie that's incomplete, which you guys happen to love.
I kind of want to know what your other 3 zeros are. Can he share them now?
Are we going to do this on that show? I don't
know. I don't know if we are.
Can you share one more at least? Just
I said Nightmare Weekend.
Oh, okay. You know what? I think I gave that probably like a 3.5 or something. Like points for something. I don't know what. But...
Such a fuck. It's a 0. That movie.
Dave, you've never seen it?
No, and I'm not going to.
It's a weird little puppet.
Well, there's a puppet, and there's danger.
Yeah, it's the weirdest fucking movie ever.
Bad shit, crazy, but it's also dull and shit to get through. And if you actually go on IMDb, one of the guys that reviews the movie, I think it was a review, thankfully, not on the message boards. So they might still be there. I'm pretty sure it was a review of the movie. It was like a guy that worked on the set, and he tells a story of how the production went from like bad to worse, like how the script was like almost trash, rewritten by the French producers. They came over, no one knew what the hell was going on, and it was this kind of, it started with good intentions, but it just went right down the shitter.
Yeah, that movie's got a low rating too on the B. That's like a 3 on the B.
I wrote that. I give that a 0.
Hookers is a 2. Cannibal Hookers is a 2.1 on the B.
See,
wow.
I cannot watch movies like that. I'm sorry.
I gave that a 0 years ago. My review's still on IMDb. I gave it a 0 years ago.
Awesome. I'm going to look for it. That's freaking great. I'm going to bring it up on the 86 show. Nice. Awesome. Okay, let me finish this up here. Jim K sums it up here. He says, this was just a follow-up because I was curious how Brandon would rank them and his overall thoughts on taking on the challenge. For me, it was fun, except the fact that there's a lot of movies that are difficult to find, and this is why I love physical medium and dislike streaming. Obscure stuff up for a while, then disappears.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big discussion that's been talked about in many pods. Thanks again. And we are going to talk about physical media later on when we get on to our versus streaming, when we get on to our listener topics. So, but we'll talk a little more about that after. But yeah, I'm glad someone else took the challenge, though. That's really cool.
Honestly, I was surprised at how much I mentioned it way back when I finished it up, at how much I wound up enjoying it, because there were definitely more enjoyable films than there were unenjoyable. But when you got into those unenjoyable films, you're like, what the hell's the point? There are some real turds in there, but there's also some hidden gems in there.
Indeed. Okay, let's get on to voicemails. Check it out. Hold on.
Wicka.
We got a couple of them. We got a couple of voicemails. Hold up. Wait a minute.
Hey.
What's up, man? This is Winston. Just listened to the episode about the kills, and it's a great episode. I very much enjoyed it, but you guys fucked up because the scene from Silent Night the other night, Linnea quickly getting impaled on the antlers, that's nobody had it on their list. Come on, man. All right.
Thanks, buddy.
That is cool. A good death. Or even the kids getting beheaded there is pretty funny. Yeah. I'm surprised no one had Silent Night, Deadly Night on there.
You're right. It's a great one. And
do you want to move that mic again?
It was too far away.
I'm being an asshole tonight.
I think his blood sugar's a little low. Maybe you should have some kicks.
Sex magic? Oh, there you go. Yes, kicks. Gotta have kicks. Yeah, bitches. But anyway, that's a great kill. That could have easily been on anyone's list. And they actually sell a Christmas decoration. And it's that. And it was from Fright Rags. Fright Rags put out this thing. It was Silent Night, Deadly Night. It was like 3 years ago. And it was a sweatshirt. It was a shirt. A Christmas sweater looking thing, and it came with Linnea and the antlers. And I wanted to spend the money so bad just to get that freaking ornament. But I'm like, well, my wife probably isn't going to want me to hang it. And I really didn't want to spend all that money on the sweater and the shirt and everything else, you know. But that is cool. I would totally hang that on my tree. It's freaking badass, and it's a great kill. So Winston does have a you know.
He has right. A point, yep.
He does have a point.
Thank you, Mr. Zedmore.
No, it's Zmore in the States.
Oh, Zmore.
Zmore, yes.
Sorry.
Zedmore in Canada. Come on.
Yeah.
We're not in Canada. You know it's Canada.
Right.
Yeah. I wanted to add something. I wanted to add a kill because I remember right after I finished, I was like, man, I should have put this kill on the list. So since it came up, I'm going to bring up one. Psycho 2 at the end. When Norman Bates whacks the shovel over his mother's head.
Kill.
Dude, it is a great kill. The way everything leads up and how you think he's poisoned her and what's going on and the whole situation and the way it develops.
Oh,
and then
I want to add one too.
The way she's laying on the floor afterwards, great kill.
Before you add it, my dad and I rewound that 5 times. And my dad, he wasn't a big fan of the fact they were sequelizing a Hitchcock because he was a huge Hitchcock fan. But he actually didn't dislike that movie. He thought it was a little gory for his likings because he wasn't big into blood, excessive blood. Mm-hmm. Not that it's a super blood, but like the knife in the mouth and everything. He didn't like that. But that shovel to the head, we were on 5 times because obviously it was an added sound effect. And it was, but the way they just did it in the take and how they did it there is just beautiful. Sorry, you add your kill there, Brandon.
It is awesome.
My added kill is Christian, how he's killing the podcast every week.
Killing me softly.
Fucking fantastic.
Woo! Doing my dance.
Nice.
Good. Got him.
Okay. Oh yeah. So that was your kill. Okay. All right. Okay. We have another voicemail. Let me get on that one, and then that's going to conclude this segment.
Guys, This is Travis Christian calling in.
Hello. What's going on, guys? It's Matt the Horror Adonis. Dave said, easy way out, Dave. And Brandon and Canadian Christian. What's going on, guys? Question for you guys this week is, I was thinking about this too, because, we all loved our trips to the video store and all that fun stuff when we were younger. But I was thinking about, were there any movies that you guys loved as a kid, and now you went back and watched them as an adult, and you hate them or you don't like them anymore? And then vice versa. So were there movies that you didn't like as a kid, or maybe you didn't understand it for whatever reason because we were too young or whatever, and then you went back and watched it, you're like, no, this is actually really good. I was trying to think of something for me, and I used to watch a lot of, rent a lot of the shitty movies. Like, I used to always watch, I must have rented this 100 times, Pinocchio's Revenge. Awful movie. I know. And I think back then I kind of was, like, more forgiving of it, and I'm like, it's pretty fun. And I went back and watched it, I don't know, like 2 or 3 years ago, and I'm like, man, this is a really bad movie, but I still found some enjoyment of it. And that's the closest thing I can get to, like, finding something that I liked as a kid I didn't like. But, like, I rented Leprechaun 1 million times, and I still fucking love that movie. I know, Dave, I think you said you've never seen it, but because it's not your type of movie, but it's still fun. It's hilarious. It's so bad it's good. But, yeah, I'm just wondering if you guys had any movies that you used to watch as a kid and you're not a fan of anymore when you went back and watched as an adult. And then maybe, was there anything that you didn't like as a kid? And now you watch it, like, this is really awesome. I wish I would have got into this. So, yeah, just want to see what you guys think. Take it easy, guys. You guys are awesome, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Thank you, Matt.
That's a good question.
It is. It's a real good question. And I have very boring answers, so you guys go.
Christian, you want to go?
I just had movies that I liked when I was younger and I don't like now. Shocker and Deadly Friend.
Shocker's a good one. Shocker's actually one that I've thought about too, because I watched that all the time as a kid. I also put Monkey Shines. I'm not as high on Monkey Shines anymore. And Troll. Troll I grew up watching all the time, and now I won't even put it on now. But I literally grew up watching that movie nonstop.
It's funny how there's little nuggets of movies, and like I know nuggets keep coming into the podcast, but there's like the Troll. I never liked Troll, but it's funny because I remember people grew up on Troll and they loved it, and whatever. Shocker is one of those ones I'll watch it, but I now know it is a piece of shit movie. It is really garbage. And back when I was a kid, I wanted a new Freddy. I was like, and I think anything that Wes Craven did, I was so like, I'm going to love this movie. I'm going to love it. I'm going to love it. And I think I was far more forgiving of it. And then as time went on, I'm like, no, these movies are pretty bad. They're pretty goddamn awful, actually. and so I can't, those are two that come to my mind. They both happen to be Wes Craven movies.
Yeah.
Wow. Interesting. Maybe that's why you like them so much, because Wes Craven's name was attached to him, so you wanted to love them.
That's what I'm saying. I think I did, but
this is what I'm saying. My answer's boring because I don't have an answer. I think everything I liked when I was a kid, I still like. I like, even when I saw Shocker and the Horror Show and whatever the hell the other one, you were just Deadly Friend, I thought that they were okay. Now I might think that they're less than okay, but like nothing has like. Even seeing them young, I wasn't that into them. So, I don't know. And all the shit I used to love when I was a kid, and this is just me in life. Like, straight up, everything I loved when I was a kid, I still love now. Like, the only thing, now, the opposite does happen, but only in, like, music. Like, there's music that, like, when I was a kid, I couldn't tolerate it. I had no interest in. And now I love it. Like, I grew up and became a fan. But for movies... No, just I've always been to the stuff I like when I was a kid. I still like now. It's just everything. It's weird.
I actually have a couple answers for movies that I didn't like as a kid. I don't want to use the word hate, but for some reason, I was never into the Hellraiser films as a kid. Pinhead just did not interest me, just bored me. And obviously, we did a whole show where we pretty much blew the first two at least, and
right.
And I love part 3 as well. The Exorcist, even though I still maintain it's a little overrated, when I was shown it when I was younger, because I was into horror movies, I was bored to tears by it. I could at least appreciate it now, and I still rate it high. I don't rate it as high as others. The Leprechaun for the movies I loved as a kid and now don't like is probably another one of those good answers. renting those shitty sequels. Those were the types of films I wanted to watch as a kid. And now you watch them and it's like, oh, your taste changed. I didn't want to watch Vincent Price films. I didn't want to watch gothic horror with set pieces when I was a kid. If I saw anything like that, I'm not watching. I'm turning it off. Whereas now, I love that. I love that shit.
See, I love Vincent Price, but I still, like I said, I haven't watched a lot of the Hammer movies, and I still haven't watched a lot of the gothic stuff. So I haven't changed. It's like, that's what I'll say when I was a kid. Like, for example, right now, I love a slow burn movie. Like, when I was a kid, if I watched The Witch, I probably wouldn't have liked it. So I could say that, but I didn't see that until now. But I know that my tastes have changed, but I would never have given a movie like The Witch or a slow burn or even like Creature Features the time of day when I was young. Now I will. I'm slowly getting into more Creature Features. When I was a kid, it was all about, I was just obsessed with the 3 S's. Slashers, Satan, and spirits. That was it. I wanted ghost shit, I wanted possession, I wanted the devil, and most of all, I wanted slashers. And that's mostly the type of shit I watched. Other stuff just, anything gory, I guess, was good. But the other stuff just didn't interest me, and I don't know if I was the leader of my friends or they all thought the same way I did because we all rented together and, you know what I mean? We just rented the same things. So other things never came up. Maybe I shot them down. They listened to me. I honestly don't remember. I remember we used to take turns who was going to pick. So I don't know. But there's just things we didn't watch. We didn't watch the stuff from the 70s, and we didn't watch slow burns and Hammer horror. And so, I don't know. But everything I liked then, I can put it on now, and I love it.
What about Friday 5? Because I hated that as a kid. Halloween 3, I hated as a kid.
Halloween 3, perfect example. Thank you, because I'm trying to think here. Two that have grown on me, and I brought them up before. Halloween 3 and Sleepaway Camp, the original. Still don't love Sleepaway Camp, the original. I don't love it. It gets a lot of love on our site, and it gets a lot of love from horror fans now, but it's still not quite the movie that people make it seem like it is. Halloween 3, though, has grown on me a lot.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy Halloween 3 now.
I don't remember the first time I watched Halloween 3, but I'm sure I was probably disappointed. But that was probably when I first started to watch horror. I wasn't watching horror until like 83. So Halloween 1 and 2 have already come and gone. So I don't remember. I don't remember watching. But I remember seeing part 5 at the movie and ultimately being disappointed at the reveal. And then I think I probably did discredit for a few years. And maybe 6 came out. I liked 6 more because it was the return of Jason, and it's a kid flick, and I was a kid. So I probably did like 6 more than 5 for a while, and then I've grown to like it more and more as time goes by. So
I've flipped on 6. I loved 6 when I was younger. Not that I don't look. I'm gonna rewatch it. I haven't gotten to rewatch it, but I loved it a lot more as a kid.
It's a kid movie.
Yeah.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's more targeted for kids than any other ones are. So it makes sense that you would, and I did too. So I guess if you want to talk Friday the 13th, 6 and 5 flipped. I liked 6 more than 5 when I was young, and now I like 5 more than 6. But that's it. I can't, like I said, everything I liked when I was a kid, I still like now, in just about every way. I'm a big kid still, and not much has changed. I'm a little more responsible. But,
some I haven't got to revisit, like Ken Russell films, Lair of the White Worm. I think I rented that 2 times, and I could never get through it.
God.
I could never get through it, so I haven't tried it again, but I remember hating it as a kid. I wanted to like it, but I just couldn't get through it. And then Gothic, which I just rewatched for the 86 show. And, he's talented. But they're just not my style of film.
Yeah. Gothic, I didn't see as a kid, but...
The movie Gothic?
I kind of felt the same about it from the first to second time. Lair of the White Worm, I think, was on TV once when I was younger, and I was just like, this is boring as hell. I've never even watched it.
That's the same director?
Yeah.
Lair of the White Worm.
He did The Devils, which is now on Shudder, which I haven't seen. I kind of want to check it out.
I watched them both for the first time this year, both for podcast. I watched Lair of the White Worm for the L episode of ABC's A Hidden Horror, and I was entertained by it. It was weird. There was some weird stuff. I could watch it again. I would like to watch it with the buzz on. I think that would add to it, but I didn't hate it or anything like that. So you guys might feel differently, but Gothic, that's a whole other story. I just watched that last week, and that's the movie that's a 4. Remember I said that's the lowest rated one from 86.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, and I avoided it for years. I didn't like what I saw on the cover, and the funny thing is the thing on the cover is only in the movie for 3 seconds.
Yeah.
But that's what turned me off to it. Then I watched this movie, and I thought it was not good.
It's a weird film. it's a weird film. I don't know why I'm kind of fascinated by it. I mean, I'm still not high on it. I give it a 6, which I felt was the absolute highest I can go. But there's just something interesting about that film.
Altered States remains my favorite of his, and that I haven't even revisited. I know Dave Rendon brought it up a while back, but that's the only other one that I think that stood out that I remember actually enjoying.
He gave you Crohn's disease? What? Gave you Crohn's disease?
Videochrome?
Videochrome. That's awesome.
Brilliant. Woo. Okay, guys, that is the end of our emails and voicemails and Facebook message segment for the week. If you guys want to take part in this, email. Take place
of Christian. Learn some editing, and then you can take his place.
explodingheadshorrorpodcast@gmail.com for email, of course, and voicemail 702-625-2224. 702-625-2224. Boom. There you go. Okay. Now, 2020. We're going to get into our first 20 of the night. Before we do that, I have to read the original email that prompted this, because the ones that Jim K included, we are not putting on our list.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, man.
Yeah.
And he only did 10, though, I think. But still.
He didn't even do 10. I think he did like 7 or something.
Okay.
7. Something like that. Hold on. Let me pull it up, because it wasn't.
Pretty sure it was 10. That's fine.
I don't think it was 10. I don't know. I think it's 7. Let's see who's right.
The top 6?
The top 6.
Happy birthday to me.
Yes, the top 6. I remember. Yes, of course. Oh, shit. 6 of the most bizarre murders. Oh boy. Okay. So, let me find him. Let me pull this sucker up. Okay. So, this is the original email, or the original message, Jim K style. Hey, Dave, here's another one for you guys. How about a top 10 list of the best horror movie endings of all time? Some that I thought of offhand in no particular order. Let's hear the count, okay? Friday the 13th. Jason jumps out of the water, and we didn't find any boy. But he's still there.
I know, and I can't put that on my list.
No.
It's fantastic. I know. It's a fantastic one.
Yeah, thanks.
We know that. That's fine. This gives us more
I know.
List here, you know? Okay.
He stole mine, too. Wait, it's coming up. He stole mine.
Okay. The Omen. Damien looking back and smiling at the end. That's badass.
2.
Sleepaway Camp. One word, Angela. Obviously.
Brandon's favorite part? He starts foaming at the mouth when that cock is revealed.
Brandon's favorite part is the cock or the movie?
The cock in the movie.
There you go.
The cock in the movie, which was in my mouth.
My
so
Lord.
that's... Would you stop? Yeah. Number 4. The Mist. The realization and the screaming. Awesome.
That's a good one, man. Yeah.
It is. It's great. Okay. Jaws. Cooper and Brody swimming back to shore on the barrel. It's cool. It would not have made my list. The Mist would have. Maybe the first 4 would have. That one would not have, although I still dig it. I don't know where you guys sit on that. But.
Well, you know what? Just to expand on that, I did like endings, like not necessarily the last shot, but the ending. Yeah, well, no, because it just depends. Like I picked endings. What did you guys do?
I went for last shots.
Interesting.
I went for a bit of both, I guess. I can't even.
Actually, wait. I think I went for a bit of both too.
I think so.
Yeah, a bit of both.
Yeah, I think mine is a bit of both, but most of them are endings. Endings.
Something like that. Okay, so Train to Busan. Little girl singing that song, coming out of the tunnel.
Don't shoot, I sing.
That's what she says. Don't shoot, I sing.
She's like, don't shoot. La 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 la. I'm sorry. Horrible. I know everybody cries at that movie. I don't know why. I love the movie. Why are people crying at it?
It's a daddy-daughter thing. When it comes to daddy-daughters, all bets are off. And especially me, I've had moments of being away from my daughter this year. It's a drama.
That's my favorite subgenre of porn.
Oh.
Now, I can't say it. I just have my daughter in my head, so I cannot freaking make a joke right now. Good God. But anyway, is someone keeping count?
6.
6? That was 6? Busan?
Busan was 6.
Okay.
Told you there's 10.
No, there's not. Kingdom of the Spiders. Pan out of the whole town, country, in the web. Oh, I gotta watch that movie. I haven't seen it yet. So
that's a tough movie to watch if you don't like spiders.
I don't, but that's why I want to see it.
It's a good movie.
Now it's been spoiled, but whatever.
Still worth the watch, though.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This absolutely would have been on my list. Sally escaping, right Leatherface, do the dance. You know, the whole nine. And Blair Witch Project. Mike found facing the wall, and Heather struck, killed, stuck, whatever the hell, and camera fall on the ground.
That's 9. Are you telling me that's the last one?
Yeah, that was a fun list, and I barely scratched the
No, that was... I'm pretty sure he had the invitation on there.
He did.
The light?
Yes, he had the invitation.
Right, the invitation. The lights
10.
all over the city/country.
There's 10. I'm sorry. The only reason I knew that is because that's the one he stole from me that I wanted to really...
You know why I thought 6? Because I was going to use 6. That's why.
I love it. It just ran
It's true.
it.
Listen.
Last week it was because of the
13.
6 most bizarre murders. This week it's because of...
6 is my number. 6. Anyway,
Six
Friday the
centimeters.
13th. That's 1. I was going to use that. The Omen, yes. Sleepaway Camp, yes. The Mist. Those 4 I was going to use. Invitation, I said no. Jaws, no. Train to Busan, no. Kingdom of the Spiders, no. Texas Chainsaw, number 5 for me. Blair Witch, number 6. So that's why I said 6, because he took 6 from me. So I apologize. You were right, Christian.
Fucking right, I was right, man.
You know? Top 6. The Crawford
Nice
6.
is here.
The Crawford top 10. I call it the 6.
Yeah.
So anyway, those will not be on our list. Thank you, Jim. And once again,
Thanks,
as you
Jim.
know by now, we've done 10 better.
Is that Jim from Toronto?
It's Jim K.
Same guy. Yeah. Can you believe that shit?
Holy shit.
I know.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Mind-blowing. I know. Jim K. Whew. Jim from Toronto. No shit. The T.O. Okay. So, we are doing our 20 now. So, we're going to do 10, 10, 10, round robin style. And then, again, like we did last show, I'll go first. Yeah, right? Yeah, I'll go first on this one. That's what I'll do. Okay. So, let me find my list, gentlemen. It's right here. I got so many damn notes that I don't know what's what anymore. Mr. Christian all the time has come. Sorry, I was looking at my notes. Okay.
You actually wrote down those fucking lyrics?
How about
No, I just wrote,
how about Mr. Christian? Your chin is full of cum.
Oh my god. No, you're not even doing an extension of the song now.
Yes. I'm trying to make it more accurate to your daily lifestyle.
Yeah, well then you're batting 0.
Amazing. Okay. This is funny because it's gonna sound like I'm a fanboy of a certain franchise by the end of it, and I'm really not. But they just happen to know.
Friday 3, Friday 4, Friday 5.
They just happen to know how to wrap up movies.
Saw. It's fucking Saw.
Hang on. Yeah, it's coming.
Well.
Oh, so you say Friday, you say Saw? That's your guesses?
I think Christian might be right though. No.
Saw? You think
No,
Friday?
I don't think it's either one actually.
What do you think it is? Give it a shot. Go ahead.
I think it's Paranormal Activity.
You think it's Paranormal Activity? Okay.
I have no idea. I want to guess, but I can't think.
Well, you are guessing. You're just
I gave
guessing
you-
stupidly wrong.
Indeed. I mean, I gave him a chance.
What an ass.
Gave him a chance. Okay, well, you'll find out the normal way. Okay.
Saw 6 is
Number 20. And what's that? What's number
Saw
1?
6 is number 20.
No, but I'll tell you what. As far as this list is concerned, really, it's kind of like the top 3 are the top 3, and everything else could be anywhere. So they're not even.
I hear you, man. I hear you.
Yeah, I kind of had a big 3 here, and then the rest are just there. So
I had a big 5.
a big 5, yeah.
Yeah, my top 5 is awesome.
It would have been like a real top 10, but Jim took 6 of them from me. You know what I mean? So.
Oh yeah, he took some of mine, but
They're all big ones.
I'm looking forward to this. Let's do this.
I'd like to find out what you guys have on the list if we could.
Yeah, so
All
yeah,
right,
in Christian's words, get the fucking move on.
Okay, get the fucking move on. Okay, number 20, The Wicker Man. Now, The Wicker Man, I gotta tell you, if that movie doesn't end that way, this movie to me is just an average movie. And I know that's gonna rub some people the wrong way. I just watched it again this past year, and I was watching it. My wife was in the room, but she wasn't watching it. I almost made her watch it because I always love the ending. And I'm watching this movie, and I'm like, there's a lot of silly stuff going on and singing, and I dig it. You know, it's all hippie shit and stuff. But I'm thinking a normal person to sit down and watch this movie, this is kind of out there. And I understand people hold it in high regard, and Christopher Lee is great. But
so was Nicolas Cage, yeah.
Oh, yeah. But the end, that reveal, and the way that to me, that really, really puts this movie over the top and makes it what it's almost like the way Christian feels like about Sleepaway Camp. He just feels it's like an average movie, average slasher with a great, wow ending. Great dick. Yeah. Well, anyway, Wicker Man's my number 20. Excellent ending. Number 19. No.
Halloween 4.
Halloween 4. Yes.
How did I miss that one off my list?
Loomis is a little silly, but don't tell me the first time you saw that, your jaw kind of hit the floor.
I know, and I can't believe it lifted off.
Yeah.
That's a great one. I totally forgot.
Well, there's the franchise that knew how to wrap up.
They do know how to wrap up, don't they? All right. Number 18.
Spine tingling, that scene. Holy shit, that's a good scene.
Yeah, I do.
I can't fucking believe it's not on my list.
It did terrify me the first time also. Like I actually felt like the life drained out of me.
I was just shocked. I'm like, what? They're making the girl.
What?
Yeah. I'm going to revamp my list here a little bit.
Oh, boy. Okay, number 18. Amityville 2, The Possession. It's a real creepy finish, and I don't know how familiar you guys are with this movie. You guys know I love it.
That was a real creepy finish.
Sorry about your chin, honey.
But after all is said and done, you see the priest and the way it's filmed, the way it's shot, you see throughout the whole movie with like the POV of the evil, and you see it fly up into the house, up into the attic, and there he's sitting there, and you see skin bulging on his face and his arm, and he's turning into what was, he just exorcised the demon from the boy. So he's there and he's praying, and he's like, "My God, do not forsake me." And it's just creepy the way, like the rest of that movie, the way it's shot, and him sitting there, and then they pan out, and then you see the house and the for sale, and it's just, the whole thing just creeps me out. I just think it's something nobody talks about, and I wanted to put it on there. Amityville 2. Here's one. Friday the 13th Part 3. It's my number 17. It's just creepy. Again, it's just the shot of Jason dead in the barn with the axe in his head laying there, and that music playing. It's just creepy to me. It just hits you in the right spot,
Is it creepy?
Creepy. Basically, it's creepy. Yes. It is creepy. Number 16, My Bloody Valentine. What can you say? It's great. Be my bloody Valentine, and going away.
What list? Is this your top 20 slashers? What list is it?
Well, it's only been 3 slashers out of 5.
I'm just messing with you.
My Bloody Valentine. Right?
I don't feel bad.
It's all right. Number 15, Cemetery Man. Awesome.
Fuck!
Yeah, man.
Right?
Why did I leave that? Or that's a great one. I'm not going to put it on my list now, but I can't believe I forgot that. That's a 10 out of 10 movie for me, too.
Fuck.
Wow.
I know, I'm forgetting. That's a good one.
That's a great. Yeah, that is.
Yeah, it's a great ending there. And I won't say anything in case you haven't seen it, but see it. I never number these things, and I always kick myself in the ass for not numbering them, because 2019.
We could tell.
Yeah. What is it, 14? I hope you guys are.
Yeah, this is 14 coming up.
Okay, 14. Okay, Krampus. I've talked about it last year. The ending blew me away. They could have gone a couple different ways, and ultimately, the way they ended it just blew me away. Like I said,
it's a great ending. Christian doesn't really agree with that because he's looking at you with a shit-eating grin.
I'm sorry, dude. I think it's awesome.
I love Krampus.
I know, but you look disappointed that he picked it. You were like, you were going so well, and then you threw Krampus on this.
No, actually, that's not what it is at all. I'm actually really shocked that there's not been one that's on my list. Although Halloween 4 and Cemetery Man should have been. Like, this is how cool this best endings thing will be. I don't know now if mine feels more generic or what, but we'll...
Probably.
This is...
13 is The Shining. And most people don't think of it, but you guys know how much I love that movie. And I'm not talking about... What's that?
The picture part?
Yes, yes. Yeah. I'm not talking about Jack being frozen in the snow. I'm talking about the slow part into the picture and how it dissolves a little bit more deeper. And then you see the year and him being there. And it's just a head scratcher of an ending, but it just... You know what I mean? It makes you think.
It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's cool. It's just... it just makes you think. Then that music comes in over the credits, and it's just like, wow, what a way to end the film. And then that's just the last thought of that film is that, like, holy shit, So, that's good stuff. Jeepers Creepers. I love the whole last 5 minutes of this film.
You just liked his hollowed out ocular cavities, didn't you?
I do. Yes, I do like them. I think it's badass. I think it's great when, all of a sudden he flies off with them. When you think the girl's negotiating with him and take me, and then crashes through and he flies off and she's chasing him and she can't catch him. And then, ultimately what we see and with the music playing, that's fucking scary, man.
Yeah, that's good.
It's a great way to end a film. Yeah. So Jeepers Creepers, that was 12, 11. Okay. The Thing. I don't know how people feel about that ending. Some people may not like it, but I think it's a great way to end the film. And every time I see it, even though I know it's coming, I'm sitting there and it blacks out and then the credits roll and it's boom, boom. It's just something about it. It just hits you. Yeah. I just
phenomenal ending, actually.
It is. I'm glad you agree. Okay, phenomenal ending. The Thing.
Like Desert Island movie. It was my movie to take with me.
11. Okay, this is 10.
So you want to stay at 10?
So that's it.
Yeah, you want to stop there then.
Yeah.
So The Thing was my 11. Okay. All right. Who's next?
You want me to go, Brandon? I got a list here. Okay,
yeah,
no problem.
Go ahead.
My number 20 was we just covered it a few episodes ago. Wreck 2007, the infamous pull away.
Wow, nice.
I mean, it seems like a trope now, but that was the movie to do it. And I think now you've gotten not just a remake, but some other movies that have sort of copied that. And I think it was really freaky and very effective there too. Basically, because since we followed her on that journey, it's just a great freak out ending. Number 19, Return of the Living Dead, the bombing of Louisville, Kentucky.
Good one. Oh, nice.
That.
I forgot that. Nice. Me too.
Number 18, April Fool's Day. It's all a big joke. Not the very, very end. I told you guys I'm not a huge fan of the winky Jack in the Box on that scene, but just the fact that the whole ending was revealed as an April Fool's joke. Love it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Number 17, Saw. Game over.
Awesome.
Number 16, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, 1978. Donald Sutherland.
Making that face. Yeah, man.
Fucking amazing. Number 15, In the Mouth of Madness. Him watching the movie from hell.
I forgot that. Good call.
Number 14, Brandon mentioned it earlier, The Devil's Rejects, the Leonard Skinner, Freebird, Hail of Bullets.
Fuck, I should have gone second.
Oh, sorry. I'm stealing your shit, aren't I?
Taking like 90 of my...
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Number 13, Friday the 13th, Part 5. It's a new beginning. Surprise, motherfuckers, it's Roy!
Nice. What about the very, very end with Tommy jumping out the window?
Yeah. It's a little quick. They should have kept... No, it's great because it's a great segue into what it could have become. And I told you, if you listen to that Harry Manfredini soundtrack, it switches to that Tommy. Kill,
right.
Kill.
Yes.
Very subtly, but it's there. And
like Halloween 4. Think about that.
Yeah.
Halloween 4 ended promising something happening in the next movie, which didn't. And the same thing happened with Friday 5.
And they second guessed themselves and they went back and just said, now we got to bring the real Jason back. So and number 12, generic but The Sixth Sense. Who's a Ghost?
Good stuff, yeah.
Number 11, Martyrs, 2008. Keep Doubting.
ATM.
How many did I steal of yours?
Oh, pretty much all of them.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't even want to go anymore.
Oh, you know what? I love that. I'm sorry.
All right, let's go. Number 20, Devil's Rejects.
Poor bastard.
No, I got some on here. You even stole some in the exact same spot.
Well, you go first next time. How about that?
No, it's okay. It's okay. Number 19, Schoolgirls in Chains. One of my hidden gems that I talk about. Very psycho-inspired, and it's got a very kind of heartbreaking ending. And I always like the last scene.
The ending isn't psycho-inspired, is it? Well, forget it. I'm not
gonna say anything. I'm not gonna say anything.
Okay.
Number 18, April Fool's Day.
The very end.
Yeah. You know what? And it's funny because as I was looking at it, obviously the big reveal that it's all a joke is fine. I don't mind that little tongue-in-cheek added ending. I think it's one more like, oh, what the fuck, really? And then it's like, oh, no, another fucking joke. Great. You got me again.
Yeah, I like it.
It works. Number 17, Fright Night.
Again with Fright Night. I forgot how it ended.
I love the last scene in Fright Night. You know, where he sees the eyes across and then, you know, you're so cool, Brewster.
Yeah, you're
awesome.
so cool, Brewster.
Yeah. Number 16, Cabinet of Dr. Caligari.
Wow.
I don't even remember the ending of that. I remember watching it. But
it's one of the first twist endings ever in a horror film.
I'm surprised it's a sound film.
It's a talkie.
It's a talkie.
It's barely a talkie, right? What year
no,
was
it
that?
was a silent film. That was a twist.
See? The pride of the talkie.
That would be awesome. That would be. Imagine that was a twist at the very end. You just said,
that's how the world found out. When I was a little kid, I used to think that in The Wizard of Oz, they discovered halfway through the movie that they could go in color. So that's why it became color when they landed in fucking Oz. I'm like, oh, they must have just were able to do this, so that's why they made the rest of the movie in color. So, what do I know?
That's crazy. All right, number 15, The Descent, the original ending.
The girl still being in the cave type thing? Insane?
Yeah,
it's badass.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
number 14, Rosemary's Baby.
Nice.
Rosemary accepting her fate as mother of Satan's baby.
Tragic.
Yeah. Very great, all at the same time.
Number 13, Christian took it in the Mouth of Madness. Fucking love that movie.
Christian took it in the mouth? What do you say?
He took it in the mouth, and man, he was crazy for that.
Crazy jizz. Fizzy.
As he calls it, a mouthful of madness.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, shit. Girls,
number,
1 cup.
Number 12. I don't know if it's going to show up on any of your lists, but I hope it does. 1 Canadian, 1 mouth.
Yeah, it's on my list. It's my number 1.
Number 12, Zombie.
Oh, shit.
The ending of Zombie's great when, you know, you pan out and you see that New York is overrun. Yeah, I wish they could have taken the traffic out somehow underneath, but just seeing that New York is overrun is still an awesome visual. And number 11, Carrie.
Nice.
Yeah. Nice. Damn you.
Yeah.
That one that started it all.
Yeah.
You did steal one from me.
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Okay. Good stuff. My turn, right?
Go ahead, Chompo.
Yep.
Would you call me Jumbo?
Chompo. I don't even know where it came
El Chompo.
Chumbo.
Instead of El Chapo, you're El Chompo. You're snacking over there.
Oh, shit. All right. Okay. Number 10. I know nobody's going to have this one because I don't know if you guys have seen this movie. Matter of fact, it's a very overlooked film. It's not even a film. It's a miniseries, but whatever. Storm of the Century.
It's a
Storm of the Century. Have you guys seen Storm of the Century?
No, but you and JP have talked about this film in such high regards. Honestly, it's only a matter of time at this point. I got to see this film.
It's a great fucking ending. I don't want to say anything because a lot of people haven't seen it, but it's the kind of ending that, I don't know, it kind of makes you feel really sorry for the main character because he did everything he could throughout the film to prevent anything bad from happening. And ultimately, the way it finishes, it's just it's heartbreaking. Is this
a 2-parter? Is this like a 4-hour thing or 3 hours?
I think it's probably at least 3 hours. It's a pretty long film. Yeah. See, I've only watched it. I got I rented it back on videotape when it first dropped, like in the 90s. I dubbed it, I copied it, and then now I own the DVD. But man, I've always loved that movie. It's straight up. It's my favorite King miniseries. I like it better than The Stand. I like it better than It. All of them. Salem's Lot, you name it. I love that movie. But whatever. Storm of the Century 10.
Tommyknockers?
A little bit better than the Tommyknockers.
Langoliers?
And I was going to say a notch better than the Langoliers.
The Langoliers is horrible.
Yeah. Oh, isn't it, though? Oh. The ending is great. That should be on this list. best ending. It totally should be. You know what it is, Christian? That they're in the airport and they're all happy and they all jump at the same time and it goes to a freeze frame and they're all in the air, midair.
Oh my God, I forgot about that. Yeah. Oh my fuck.
What an ending.
The credits are my favorite part. That was the best part of the movie.
Oh shit.
We haven't had a credit check yet, so yeah, calm down and get to the rest of your list.
Yes, let me do it.
Fanning himself.
Right, I know. Number 9, The Witch. Of course. I mean, what I say last time, every time I see that, it just makes me smile. I love that. I'm genuinely happy for after everything that's happened and, you know, what's happening.
Good one. It's another good one.
So, yeah, like I said, everything that Thomason went through and ultimately, you know, what became of her. And, yeah, I love the damn movie, as you guys know. So, The Witch. Number 9. Okay, number 8, Halloween H2O.
Yeah. I heard you talk about it. I know. You've mentioned it before. Too bad the lead up to it sucks.
I know, but just judging this movie for its ending, for the movie itself.
That's what this is, yeah.
That's the first thing I said the first time I saw it. I said, you know what? That is the best ending of a killer and a series ever. Because I really thought that was it. You know what I mean? Of course it wasn't. You know what I mean? But if it would have stayed that way, man.
I mean, if it wasn't a paramedic with his larynx crushed.
Halloween Water, number
God. Right?
8. Good.
What a shame. What a shame. Okay, number 7, Frailty. Frailty, man, that was a jaw-dropping thing for me. The whole thing, the first reveal, and then what happened, and then you know what they said at the end outside of the store. And I'm not going to say anything if anyone hasn't seen it, but damn, that's always stuck with me about that. I remember the first time I saw it, and I was like, wow, that's freaking crazy. So, Frailty. Number 7?
I think number 6 now, yeah.
6
okay.
now.
Number 6, okay. Night of the Living Dead. The original, of course. I'm sure everyone has seen it. I mean, whatever. Just first what happens to Ben, and then just the aftermath, and just what it says about like humanity in general, and just what's happened here. It's just it blows me away. It's crazy. Number 5 has been said already. Rosemary's Baby. Love it. Love everything about it. The realization, her acceptance, and the music that plays, and the way it sweeps away, and then the credits roll. It's awesome. Number 4, Halloween 3.
Fuck! I mean, that's a no-brainer too.
Come on.
I left it off. Stop it! I was like,
stop it! Oh man,
it is great. Halloween 3 and 4 are great fucking endings.
Yeah, they are. And H2O is not bad either.
Yeah, we were both wrong, Brandon. He blew this series left, right, and center.
Jesus.
I can't help it that it has great endings. It does. I just didn't realize it till now. And this list here, it's the first list we've ever done where I didn't look anything up online, didn't look at my Blu-rays, my DVDs, nothing. Just driving, they all popped into my head like within an hour. Just endings that I love. There was no research, nothing.
How do they pop it?
Like
a snap?
Boom. Straight up. Okay, number 3, Game Over. Saw.
Yeah, it is.
Awesome. Number 2 has also been said, Carrie. I mean, that's the one that started it all. That started everybody having to have that big finish.
Yeah, no movies had endings before that.
Not like that.
We need something to finish this thing.
It was a trendsetter. It was a trendsetter of an ending. Everyone had to have that little extra punch at the end of their film, and that's the one that started it. And number 1, I've said this before on other podcasts, it is the best ending to a horror film ever. I'm sticking with that. What they did after this film is another story, but if it would have stayed just this way, it's amazing. And it's Halloween 1978.
Stop blowing Halloween.
Yeah.
When do I
franchise.
Get off
when
your
do I
knees.
ever?
Franchise.
Get off your knees. You blew the franchise.
They just happen to be great ending films. That's one thing that series did right.
You've got 2 exactly the same as mine in the exact same order as mine.
All right.
Look, your cycles have synced up.
There we
I'm
go.
curious. Yeah, we're hooked up tonight, man.
Number 10, Friday the 13th Part 2, the Lick My Muffin ending. I said, well, not as important as the Part 1. That's what I call it, TJF. Well, not as important as Part 1. It's probably or possibly a bigger scare. And the reason I say that is because we've played this movie to people. I remember back when Vince and I were in university, we played it for the girls that we lived with that hadn't watched any of these movies. They thought part 1 was scary. But when Jason flies through that window for the Lick My Muffin ending and just goes through that window, they flew out of their seats. And we were like,
what do you refer to this ending as?
You know exactly, you son of a bitch. Number 9. High Tension. The final girl is the killer.
Oh, French film. Oh, wow.
Number 8, Videodrome. Long live the new flesh. That's all you have to say.
Oh, Canadian film. Surprise.
Yeah. Number 7, Brandon's a fuckhead.
He gave me
Number
Crohn's
7,
disease.
Scream. Reveal of the 2 killers. The fact that there's 2 killers is just phenomenal. 6, Psycho. Norman is the mother. Norman's insane, and if you had to take it one, that reveal is great, but if you want to take it one step further, even though the last shot of the movie is the car being pulled out of the swamp, but I always think of it, as most people do, as, I'm not even going to swap that fly or whatever. They know, and they'll say, well, he wouldn't even harm a fly. She wouldn't even harm a fly, whatever. And then it fades out with that fucking slight dissolve of the skeleton.
Skull.
Beautiful.
Awesome, yeah.
Yeah. And then number 5, The Thing. Just hanging out, the end. I love it. Love that ending. Love it. Number 4, Black Christmas. Just the ringing telephone.
That is badass.
Number 3, Night of the Living Dead. The Ben Bummer.
Ben Bummer.
That might be the funniest fucking thing ever said on this show.
The Ben Bummer and the Muffin Lick. Isn't that what they call it?
Is that a Canadian sex move? The Ben Bummer?
I like it paired with the Muffin Lick. Is that what you call them?
Yeah.
Lick my muffin?
The Lick My Muffin ended.
I was looking at muffin and then I decided to give her the Ben Bummer.
Number 2, Carrie. Hand pop-up dream sequence. It just, like you said, started it all. And number 1, Halloween. Missy Myers breathing.
Yes!
Done and done.
Nice.
I don't even want to go anymore. Could you guys just steal on my thunder? I'm going to go Gordon myself. Right after I lick my muffin. I feel like I really got the Ben Bummer on this one. Oh, Christian, man, that's fucking gold right there.
That is gold.
All right, number 10, Sixth Sense. You know, I don't care what people say. So many people later on said, "Oh, I saw that ending coming." Meanwhile, when I saw that in the theaters, everybody saw it, nobody saw that fucking ending coming. And it was a great ending, great reveal. I like the movie. Fuck all the haters. Number 9, even though, like I said, it's borderline horror, the 9th configuration, the ending just puts a big smile on my face. I don't want to spoil it for anyone. If you haven't seen it, see the movie.
I'll back you up on that. See the movie.
Yeah. Number 8, The Orphanage.
I was confused by it. I don't know if it was happy or sad. That was my issue with The Orphanage.
I mean, it's both. There's a couple of moments. There's the big reveal with what happened to Simon, which is just, like, absolutely terrifying. Yeah, it's terrifying. Yep. And then, obviously the bracelet or the charm at the very end. It was some piece of jewelry. Number 7, The Shining.
Nice.
Won't embellish on it. Number 6, Night of the Living Dead.
Ben Bummer?
No need to. Ben Bummer.
Ben Bummer. Is that the only one? Well, so far.
The Curious Case of Ben Bummer. Oh, God. This is the funniest thing that I think has ever come from the show. Number 5, Black Christmas. I was hoping no one was going to say it, but I figured it was going to pop up. Great ending. Love it. Haunting. Yep. Number 4, Wicker Man.
Nice.
Dave gave it love. Here's one I have, and I've talked about this movie multiple times, but the ending is just absolute jaw-dropping. Nobody had it, and I can't believe it's not on everyone's list, and it's Don't Look Now.
Oh, I still haven't seen it.
I have seen it. Yeah.
The end, Dave, just see the movie. I love this movie. Again, another Donald Sutherland film. Number 2, Saw, Game Over, iconic.
Shit.
And number 1, the one that just blows me away now every time, is Martyrs. Keep doubting ATN. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Man. Awesome.
Yeah.
Great list, guys.
Yeah, man, that was fun. And we had stuff all over the place, you know? And like I'm listening to some of yours, and I'm thinking, oh man, like Psycho. Like I thought about my problem was I was too fixated on the wrong things. You know what I mean? Like we took different approaches in certain ways, and I was thinking of Final Shot and like the reveal of Norman, amazing, being Mother. But then I'm thinking of the aftermath, and I'm like, well, but still, man,
the Psycho Blabber. She said it, he said it.
I don't mind.
We brought this up before, I think.
Right, I don't mind that at all. I think it's actually quite cool. But when I was making the list, like I said, it just popped into my head. I didn't do any research. I was like, yes, this movie. Damn, all those Halloweens. I know, right?
It's your favorite series.
Favorite endings, I'll tell you that.
Halloween fanboy.
Yeah, there we go.
Resurrection was his fourth.
Resurrection was 21.
And all the other endings sucked. How about that? If you think, no, I shouldn't say 2. Part 2 didn't suck, but part fucking 5, part 6.
All Red turned into Ant-Man at the end of part 6, right?
I don't even know. What a fucking mess. Okay, so that's that. Now, we got some triple R's and we got some, we got a few triple R's. How many do we have? I just have 3 new movies, so.
I got 2.
You got 2?
Yeah, I got 2 as well. I might throw in a quick third real fast, but.
Okay. I'm going to make mine quick. I'm going to do the best I can.
First.
Yeah, I'm going to go in. There's a movie, it's called Die, My Dear. Like I said, these are all 2017. Die, My Dear can be seen on Prime. I don't know where else, but it's 2017. It's pretty interesting. It's mostly 2 people. It's a like an old couple, but they're estranged. They divorced within the last 10 years. And they're like, I'm going to say in like the late 50s, pushing 60 type range. They have an interesting relationship where they love each other, but they hate the fact that they love each other. And it's really about these 2 people. The guy shows up to the woman's house, brings flowers, and they talk. And there's a lot of tension. There's a really good soundtrack here, and there's a lot of tension, almost like, and it's nothing like The Invitation, but I'm just comparing with the tension that I feel because something bad's gonna happen. And you don't know why, you don't know how, but you feel it. And ultimately, this isn't really a spoiler because this is something that happens 15, 20 minutes into the film. They end up poisoning each other. They both wanted to bump each other off, and they both happen to poison each other in 2 different ways. And the rest of the movie is just the 2 of them dealing with their relationship. Yes. Dying. Yes. Really? One of them being affected mentally, because of the way the poison affected them, and the other one being affected physically because of the way the poison worked on them. It's 2 different methods of poison. And it's almost like a Hitchcock film in a way. I could have seen this being played out as like a Hitchcock film or even a Hitchcock Presents or something like that. Then it goes into a place, nothing crazy. I could see some people not liking it as much because you're really basically stuck with these 2 people and it's all about their performances. And they're the kind of people that I could see some people watching the movie and saying they're undesirable, so I don't care. But I don't look at it that way. I look at 2 people that bad relationships kind of bring out the worst in everybody. Like, you put me in a room with my ex-wife, and I consider myself a decent person. But things that I went through with her brought out the worst in me. So when you put somebody in those situations, the worst of their personality is going to show. But in this case, there's still some love there. It's just a long relationship that it's worn on them. And that's all I'm going to say. It's an interesting film. I haven't seen another film like it. So it's just them 2. I give it a 7 out of 10. I say check it out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Prime.
Yeah, it's called Die, My Dear.
Die, My Dear. Mm-hmm. Where was this? Was this on
Prime?
Prime. Okay. Yeah.
But it's 2017, and again, It's not straight horror. Some people might say it's thriller or drama. You know what I mean? But it's good. Check it out.
Cool.
Do you want me to do my really quick one? My really quick one is
Go ahead.
Realm of the Damned, 2017. Okay, so what this is a graphic novel, and I'll tell you right now, I haven't read the graphic novel, but I tell you, if you are interested in this at all, just go buy the graphic novel, read the graphic novel. The artwork looks amazing. What they've done here is they tried to bring the actual graphic novel to life, not a retelling, not like a fictionalized with actors version of this. I'm literally using the graphic novel, photographing it and doing like a faux animation, kind of like a Gorillaz music video style for the whole movie. But the mouths don't move. when they're doing dialogue, and it's very limited animation. The movie itself is like 56 minutes long. And the downfall is it overstays as well. So it's 56 minutes long. I don't know what the fuck's happening in the movie at all. Like, I mean, because what it is, it's okay. So I said semi-animated adaptation is what I called it. I said the voice acting in this film and the sound design are so over the top. So all the production values seem to have gone into that it's just almost comical. Like they're all talking like, and like really forcing it all out. And one guy I think yells like, "Cunt!" And you can't help but laugh. It's just the way that
it's a funny word.
Yeah. It's just funny. It's like when Dice said it. Yeah.
I thought you were doing what's his name? Khan from like Star Trek 2 when you started to do it.
No, but everything's like that. It's everything is just, the dialogue is so over that I didn't follow the story at all. I watched it just to get through it. It's a mess. It's just a loud mess. The movie does contain a lot of cool metal tracks. Like I'm talking about like really like death metal tracks to it. So it won't be for everybody, but if you like that style of music, there's some good music, crazy music in this as well. Like I said, the artwork is amazing, but then just read the book. 4 out of 10.
Ooh, shit.
Unfortunately.
Right.
Yeah. I haven't really read much good about it either.
Yeah. And 4 out of 10 for that review.
What an asshole.
It again, like the movie, it overstayed its welcome.
Awesome.
I'm just Ben bumming. Okay. I went 86 crazy the last week and a half. And first film I watched, first time view, was 1986's Vamp.
Oh, my first time view as well.
Yeah.
Really? You guys never saw that before?
Never seen it.
What?
I actually bought
I'm not
it.
a vampire kind of guy.
I like vampire films, but I bought it cheap, bought the Arrow edition. 2 fraternity pledges travel to a sleazy bar in search of a stripper for their college friends, unaware it is occupied by vampires. I had a lot of fun with this film. I kind of never really wanted to see it. The cover art of, Grace Jones in the white makeup with the red hair just kind of never really drew me in.
Really?
It really didn't.
Huh.
It didn't draw me in either, but I also remember the other cover box, with just the mouth, the lips.
The lips. Yeah.
It just seemed like it was a feminine vampire thing, and I didn't care. I don't know. It just never drew me in.
To me, this movie probably was, it came out the year after Fright Night, so it was probably trying to be, cash in on the success of Fright Night, being a vampire flick. Although a lot of people think it's sort of like an inspiration From Dusk Till Dawn, because there's definitely scenes in it that are included in From Dusk Till Dawn, so I'm sure QT definitely drew some inspiration from that. It's funny. I thought Dee Dee Pfeiffer was hot as Amaretto.
Yeah.
It's very tongue-in-cheek. Billy Drago has an appearance in it as a albino gang leader, which was hilarious. And there's an incredibly funny scene with him actually being attacked by a little girl vampire. Yeah. And she like flies through the air and she's like biting him on the wrist. And you could tell, like, looks like a doll. If I had to critique some of the negatives of this film, I wish Grace Jones's character had actually spoken in the film. I wish she had been featured a little bit more in the film. And I wish Getty Watanabe's character had been in the film a little bit longer, especially after he got turned into a vampire. But overall, the acting was solid. It has, what's his name from Nightmare 2 stars in it.
Robert Russler.
Yeah. Good. He's good in it, too.
Yes,
no, it's very good. It was actually quite enjoyable. Like I said, I always avoided it, and I'm glad I finally checked it out. It's not going to make my top 10 of 86. I'm not going to spoil anything by saying that, but it's a solid film. I would watch it again. It's a 7 out of 10 for me.
Yeah.
Right on.
That's where I come in with that. I've always liked this film, and that's a perfect rating for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I dug it too.
Did you grade it?
I'm saving it for the show.
Oh, you're saying, uh-oh. Number 9.
Okay, here we go. 2017. I have been talking about this movie since I saw the cover art for it. And again, with me and cover art. And it spoke to me when I saw it. I thought it was going to be kind of Neon Demon. And then I heard it wasn't. But then I watched it, and I'm not going to say it's the End Demon, but it's trippy in a way like that. But this movie is The Lure, and I quite enjoyed it. Did you guys get to watch it at all, or no?
Unfortunately, no.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Well, I think you will now. It starts off in a strip club, and it's basically about these two mermaids, sisters, and they end up working in this strip club, and it's very strange because the whole movie, there is a lot of musical numbers in this film, and that could be a turnoff for people.
Musical
numbers.
Lot. It's a musical?
Yes, it's a very strange film. Yeah, there's a lot of musical numbers.
Aren't they like at like sort of like almost like a cabaret type place?
Yeah, it's like a strip club, but also they do different type of routines, and these girls perform in different places besides that strip club.
Oh, okay.
You know, they perform on stage with a band and all this stuff, and it's basically these two girls, basically triple R's.
3 times.
The girls' names are Silver and Golden. Boy, they're attractive girls, especially Silver. I really like her, but either way, Silver ends up being attracted to she wants to stay. She wants to be off the land. This plays off the Mermaid's Tale, the classic Mermaid's Tale that was developed into the Little Mermaid, and it's the same thing here. It's a classic tale about a mermaid that wants to trade in her fins for legs, wants to be human, wants to stay above water. You know what I mean? That's her gig. So the one sister, Silver, wants to hang out with this guy. She kind of falls for him. She wants to trade in and she wants to get a real leg and a real pussy. And yes, they say this in the film. She wants to do this. Where Golden Golden is actually sad. And it's a very fantastical film where in this film, a procedure like that can be done, where you can trade your legs and your pussy with someone else for fins. It's a fantastical film. It's like a fantasy horror musical. It's a very original film.
Some would say
fantastical, yes.
I tried to crack wise and I fucking stuttered.
That's what I love. I love it.
That's what
no edited.
But it's trippy. There's a lot of good stuff going on here. I don't want to get too much into the plot. Golden has a secret. They eat people. It's part of being a mermaid that you can eat. You can dine on human beings. And Golden wants to still do it, but is kind of hiding it. Where Silver is trying to become more human, but doesn't really 100% want Golden to know about it. So it's a lot about their relationship and what happens, and they move in with the family. The guy that runs the strip club, and he has his wife and his family members, and they're in with them, and no buts regarding sluts is something that's said. It's one of the songs in the movies, and the tail designs are really cool. The way these mermaids' tails look are really cool. There's cool stuff. There's a few scenes that some are going to consider gross even. It's a very unusual film. There's nothing else like it. I had a feeling I would enjoy it, and I did. And for me, it's an 8.5 out of 10.
Whoa. Nice.
Check it out. Yeah, I quite enjoy it. And I want to watch it again.
I think you just lured me into watching it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ding dong.
But yeah, it's not going to be for everyone.
I know what the twist is. Golden turns out to be a merman.
I'm just going to jump right in.
Jump in.
I'm just going to jump right out the window.
Yeah, I'm just going to jump to my death. Patchwork is my next film. And from what I saw, it was made in 2015, but released now. June 6, 2017, I believe. Was the release date. And I said it was a great modern take on the Frankenstein story. So we open on a mad scientist talking to a severed head. He then reanimates a dead corpse, a la Reanimator, like literally a la Reanimator. It's got like the glowing fluid from Reanimator in it.
No shit. Is the head talking back?
No.
Okay.
It's part of the scene, but totally separate from the reanimated body. And then we are treated to a super cool animated title sequence. Actually, this animated title sequence, I kind of joked with you guys on text, was cooler than that whole Realm of the Damned movie that was supposed to be animated.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And this is just kind of a goofy little title sequence, but it was fun. And then the story then focuses on the character Jennifer, celebrating her birthday. She doesn't seem to have any real friends or anybody that really wants to spend a lot of time with her. She gets an unexpected treat, and then the story takes a turn into getting into the mind of the animated monster. So It's weird. So it's just the way the story's presented. It's actually presented in parts. Funny.
In parts? Oh, yeah. Body parts.
Yeah. Yeah. It's actually done in parts, though. It actually is done in parts, Quentin Tarantino style. Wow. And then, so I said it was clever, well written, decent acting, great special effects. I said the Tri-Girl face, and when you see it, you'll know what I'm talking about. It looks really good at first, but then it just looks like the same girl. And when you watch the movie, you'll know what I mean. It's funny. It's got a good twist. And the film overall was a pleasant surprise. Doesn't all work perfectly. The mad scientist character is a little off. Like sometimes he's just cracking wise. Sometimes he's a little serious. Like, I mean, he's a mad scientist, but it just doesn't work. The tone's a little wonky there. And there's a bit at the end with a big batch of reanimated corpses that seems a little rushed. There's not much build up. And the payoff, there's payoff, but it should have been more. I said, that's really it. It's a fun watch. It's fast paced. It's an hour and 26 minutes. 7.5 out of 10.
Nice.
Cool. Was it funny? Did it have you in stitches?
It had me in stitches. That was a good one. I should have used that one from my head. Wait. It was funny. It had me in stitches. 7.5 out
of 10. He's the editor. You can do that too. You can do it. Nice.
Kill my thunder. Cool. All right. For my next film, I'm going to take it all the way back to the year 1986.
Oh, no shit. Are you sure not 2086?
And I'm going to spend about 3 minutes talking about a film that is a slasher, as well as an 86 film. And, where are my notes on this? It's directed by Joey from Friday 5 and co-written by Chachi's brother.
You fucking kidding us?
And it's called Evil Laugh.
Evil Laugh?
Yeah. Okay. You never heard of Evil Laugh?
Yeah, I watched it. I can't believe I didn't know it was directed by Joey from Friday 5.
Yeah, and Scott Baio's brother co-wrote it and one of the stars of the movie.
Oh my God. I want to hear what you have to say about this one too.
Yeah, so the actual backstory behind this film, behind the story that's taking place in the film, is actually pretty cool. So it's about a group of medical students who are coming together to fix up an abandoned house that used to be an orphanage. And at the orphanage, there was this guy, Martin, who had a breakdown after being accused of child molestation. His father killed himself, and Martin went nuts and murdered everyone at the orphanage, including the kids. And then it flash forwards to, well, it doesn't actually flash back, so it's in the present day, and the med students show up, and they're helping their friend, who's a pediatrician, redo and reopen the house as a foster home. And man, is this just generic as slashers come. This is just really bad. It really doesn't have anything. It really doesn't have anything to offer in the way of kills, in the way of scares. I think the backstory was the best part of it, but you never see any of it, and it never even plays a part in ultimately the big reveal of who the killer is, which is absolutely just freaking ridiculous. There was one character, Barney, who was there for comic relief, and some of his jokes kind of kept me in it. He made a lot of Jason references, obviously, because it's written by Joey, or directed by Joey.
Yeah, that's true.
But even with these comical, one-liners, he couldn't save the film. 4 out of 10.
Ooh, you're probably a little higher than I was.
Another thing with this is I own the DVD and I never opened it. I open the DVD. I pop it in my player. Doesn't play.
Oh.
I'm like, okay, I'll try it on the downstairs player. Doesn't
fucking
play.
Physical media.
Doesn't fucking play. No, it's one of these burn on demands from a company that I never even heard of. I bought this movie like probably 2 years ago, and it immediately went in my get rid of pile.
I'm trying to warn you not to watch it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it might be a giveaway on the slasher show.
Oh my God.
I've avoided it for years, and as usual, I was right to avoid it.
It's bad. It really is. But honestly, for the slasher aficionados, they'll want to at least see it just to say they saw it.
Oh. Right on.
Could I add, because I don't think I'll be able to talk about this on the 22 shots thing. I put a little note to it as well. Finish your thought though, Brandon. You're about to say something else.
I'm pretty much done. There's really nothing to say, which is I was actually 1.5ing it at times.
It's funny. I was doing the exact same, and that's why I'm surprised you came so high. So I said brutal shut-in video slasher, not gory, not scary, bad acting, bad cinematography, bad dialogue, bad music, horrible killer costume. He wears blue dish gloves and a black robe. Totally forgetful. Has a guy that reads Fangoria, and there's a Jason and a Fonzie reference. A guy asks, "Where's the whipped cream?" and then proceeds to get it from the cupboard. 2 out of 10.
Wow.
Yeah, I found the whipped cream in the cupboard to be very upsetting as well.
Upsetting.
Where's the whipped cream? And instead of the fridge, he goes to the cupboard.
Yeah, who keeps whipped cream in a fucking cupboard?
Yeah.
That's weird. Yeah.
That bothered me more than the blue dish gloves.
Yeah, it's bad, man. It is bad.
Yeah,
and then they threw in an evil laugh twice, I think, to call it evil laugh.
And Joey's doing the evil laugh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. Was there chocolate on the lens from his hands? See, it's from '86, and it's a slasher, and I had no intention on watching it, and
Don't you have to see it as a slasher guy? At least watch it once at some point. What do you mean? No,
that's like saying that because I love cats, I have to freaking, put my hands in cat shit every day. No, I'm sorry. Just because I love slashers doesn't mean I have to see shit slashers.
Christian, why aren't you jumping all over this whole cat shit reference?
I'm getting confused now because I've watched so many from '86 and slashers now. Is this the one where there's the real estate agent?
Yeah.
With his wife? Yeah, okay, well. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Fuck.
Terrible.
I'm never going to watch it. No, I'm sorry.
No, you don't need to. I just thought I thought you were a slasher completist.
No, I'm a good slasher completist. I'm not,
oh, okay. Then don't watch this.
I'm not going to watch a piece of shit to say I watched a piece of shit. That's just not for me. Some people, that's their cup of tea. It's not me. Life's too short to watch a shitball movie that I know is shit. Sorry. But anyway.
A shitball movie that I know is shit. For shit's sake.
Let me rattle this one off now. My last one. 2007. 2017. Savage Land. This came to me last night. We were talking about it on Bloody Bits. Jason Lloyd saw it. Watson saw it. Chris General, maybe Philip Perrone. I don't remember, but there was people talking about it, and it's a faux documentary. It's a mockumentary. That's up my alley, and it was kind of being, pimped a little bit. So I'm like, well, fuck it. I'm watching it tonight. I'm recording tomorrow. I'm going to have one more RRR just because I have got to watch this movie.
Nice.
So, and I'll tell you what, I enjoyed the movie. It's basically about there's a whole town wiped out, and 57 people murdered. And there's one person in this town. Actually, it's on the border by Arizona and Mexico. And there's a guy who was an illegal there, from Mexico. And he's a handyman, and there's a big town next to them called Hinsman, Arizona, and he knows people there, and he works in the town, and he kind of helps out around town. And anyway, he ends up being the only survivor. 57 people wiped out. Just like that, a massacre. They were only able to identify 7 complete bodies. So there's dismembered body parts all over the place. This movie is straight up set up like a mockumentary, done very well. One of the best done films of this nature that's been done. That's one really good thing it has going for it. The guy's name is Francisco Salazar, and there's all kinds of stuff in the beginning, and there's everyone adding their pieces into it, and they even get a little bit political because he's an illegal, and they have people talking shit. It's very of the times, but it's done really well. You have different people talking. You have the mayor. You have a guy that works at Border Patrol. You have another guy who's a journalist. Everyone, telling different sides of the story. You get some footage of him after he's arrested because the guy told the story basically about what happened. But then he became mute. He didn't say one word for the trial. Nothing. Just shut the hell up, and that was the end of it. And this tape was never put in the trial when the lawyer didn't want to put it in because he thought it was the rambling of a lunatic. So the guy's own attorney thought it was going to hurt him, so it didn't come out until now. Now, it's found footage, but the footage that's found, for once, isn't film. It's camera. The guy takes pictures. He's a photographer, an amateur photographer. He took a lot of pictures, and people thought he was a weirdo because he liked to photograph roadkill and children. And I know it sounds weird, and it's portrayed as weird, but he did it all in an artistic way. They tried to put a pedophile spin on him, and they tried to say he was a sicko. But he really did it. They talked to photographers and artists, and he said he did it in an artistic way. So there's just everybody giving their input on this guy. And he has taken 36 pictures during this massacre. And these pictures are mostly haunting. You see these pictures and you see what really took place here, but you really don't, because it's not as clear as it could be or should be. But the pictures are very haunting. It's cool looking. I got to say the sound design in this film is probably the best sound design I've ever seen in a film like this, a mockumentary type movie. If I'm going to have any complaint, it's going to be at the very end where something happens and I'm not 100% sure. It might be obvious to other people, what the last shot is, what we saw, and I'm not really sure. I think I know what I saw, but I'm not 100% sure what it meant. But that's not detracting me from my enjoyment of the film. It was one of the best done movies of this style that I've seen, and I'm into this type of movie. Another movie that I come in high on, it's another 8.5 out of 10.
Whoa!
Yeah.
That's awesome. This movie sounds really good.
Savage Land.
What did you where'd you watch this? You get a screener?
Savage Land? Where the hell did I watch this? No, it was on Amazon. This one is either. Man, I think it's Prime again. It's either Prime or Shudder, but I'm almost positive it's Prime.
Prime.
Nice, man.
So I'm telling you, Prime kicks ass. People keep saying that they're taking shit down, and I'm catching films all over it. So whatever. So yeah, there you go. Yeah, I had a good week of 2017 films. Yeah. So there you go. That's it, right? No more triple R's?
No, that's it, man.
That's it. All right.
Yeah, I had one more, but you know what? I'll skip it because it's another 86, and I'm sure it'll come up on the show.
Okay. All right. Shall we get into our listener our group page recommendations? This is what we put out there. This is what we're going to do. We put something out there on the page saying, why don't you guys give us some topics? And I'm going to read them off to you. I'm going to read up what we got. We got a lot of contributions. Of course, we're not going to go through them all. Some of them require a lot of prep, and we prepped a little bit for a few of them. Others are going to be quick answers, but others are going to be saved for future shows. So I wanted to thank everybody. We wanted to thank everybody for contributing.
I didn't want to.
No.
No.
See this guy.
This fucking guy.
But I'm going to read it from the top. I'm going to have a little fun with it. If someone doesn't know anything about it or didn't, doesn't have an answer or didn't do any prep work, then we're not going to do it. We'll do it next show. But
can I ask you one question, Dave? In the movie Savage Land, were there pictures of severed feet? Because that would be true found footage.
Oh. Holy fuck.
No.
Great. It would have been funnier 5 minutes ago when he was
I know, but
This
but
guy
it just popped in my head. I don't know why. Every time I hear found footage, I'm thinking of feet.
You're thinking of Saw?
Yeah.
It should have been a Saw movie, found footage. It could have been both. It could have been the foot on the cover, the severed foot, and found footage.
A camera attached to the pinky toe.
They should remake Saw and make it found footage. Anyway, sorry. I know. I took a bad joke and I made it worse. Okay, all right.
Look at Christian.
Okay, let's get on this
dead
list.
over here.
Let's get on. Let's talk about this list for an hour, and then we go on to our last 20. Boom, bam, bing. Okay, Aaron West. Perhaps a discussion of sequels you wish got made, or how you would have continued the series after the first film if you had the chance to write the script. Did anybody think about this? Is there anything you can think of off the top of your head?
Specifically with the remakes, I thought about not anything specific within the remakes that I've disliked, but
This isn't remakes. This is asking about sequels, though.
Wait, what is this question?
I told you I was going to take them in order as they're written. The first one says...
I'm thinking of it.
It's okay. Perhaps a discussion of sequels you wish got made, or how you would have continued the series after the first film if you had the chance to write the script. I'm guessing maybe we should do this on the next show where we can prepare for it.
Yeah, I didn't prepare for this one.
Okay, yeah, some of these require preparations, and anyone that puts something in, we're going to use it. But you know what I'm saying? It's just we're just throwing them out there and taking it. So that one's going to be logged in. The next time we do a 2020 show like this, we'll do this again, and that one will be something that we talk about. Okay, here's Freeze. Asian horror beyond Ring and Grudge ripoffs. What's your take on it? I mean, there's a whole shitload of Asian ghost movies.
I love Asian horror. I love it.
I love the ghost shit. Love it.
And that's my biggest weakness. You guys were talking about wanting to get into more 60s and 70s stuff. My Asian horror is low. I've watched the ones that everybody's seen for the most part.
Right.
The Eye, The Ring, The Grudge, the American versus the Japanese or Korean versions of those movies, whatever it may be. One Missed Call, those ones. I've seen that style.
But you've enjoyed all of them.
I've enjoyed everything. I just haven't dug deeper or seen a lot of the other ones that I hear Derek recommend or for that matter Don as well now. Who's contributing a lot to everybody's page. He does a lot of contributions. There's so much more out there. That's something that I definitely need to get better at, for sure.
Well, I think back to the 2002 show we did, and we had The Grudge, we had Dark Water, we had The Eye, we had Happiness of the Katakuris, and then I threw in the Chinese film Inner Senses as my number one.
Still gotta watch it.
I'm still telling people, and I and Christian, I'm with you. I mean, I haven't seen everything that Asian horror has to offer, but everything I've seen, I've been very impressed with.
Me too.
So,
that's just it.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Like the worst Asian. Now I'm mostly talking the ghostlies. I'm mostly talking the Asian ghost. Mm-hmm. I'm not as much not that I have a problem with them, but I'm talking about the Miike stuff and the other stuff, and the stuff from Korea and the hardcore. That stuff's good too. I just happen to prefer the Asian ghost stuff. And anytime one comes across me, I watch it. Like, there used to be a shitload on Netflix, and I watched every one of them. There's like 20 or 30. And the worst ones would be, I'd never seen one below average.
Yeah.
That's what I said. I watch any Asian movie because I haven't seen one below average yet. They've all been good. And they had them on Hulu, streaming sites. Anytime they come up, I will watch them. But, like Shudder is a real good one. And the ones you mentioned, Dark Water, and there's a bunch of them. There's Sick Nurses. There's just so many of them. And I've never really been let down. That's why I like them so much. And for me personally, and I've said it many times, something about those Asian ghost movies creep me out in ways that other movies can't.
Yeah.
So, but I admit I'm behind when it comes to the hardcore Asian stuff, the Asian extreme, if you will.
Even just going through that whole Tartan Asian extreme line, they have movies like Bloody Birthday, movies like The Booth, The Maid, just so many good films.
We're going to do that show. We're going to cover Tale of Two Sisters.
Tale of Two Sisters, great film. Yeah.
Right, Battle Royale, and what was the other one?
Asian horror doesn't disappoint.
No, it's great. It's great. I wish there was more. I wish I could see more because the ghosts are for me, is what it's all about.
One that I wasn't a huge fan of, but it's a straight up like ghostly, crazy psychedelic film is House. The 60s
Hasu? Yeah.
Hasu, yeah. A little too whacked for me, but
whacked out.
But it's still a great looking film, and people love it. It's highly regarded. It's
like Miike shit, His stuff's whacked out.
It's all
over the board. Yeah, man.
Oh yeah, but it's great.
But it is. That's just it. It's all. I would recommend checking out as much Asian horror as you can, honestly, until something disappoints you. Check them out. Yeah. Honestly.
Slit mouth woman. That was terrifying.
Yep. I mean, we could go on, and we don't want to spend too much time. And again, maybe we can revisit this on another.
Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift.
Oh shit! Fucking.
I was just making sure Christian was still alive.
What's that other one? Tokyo Nights, freaking. What's that shit? Wasn't it like Paranormal Activity Tokyo something? No, you guys don't know what I'm talking about?
No, I have no clue. I thought you were talking about the porn and Videodrome.
No, I think I know what you're talking about, but
Shanghai Nights.
Shanghai. No. There was a third after part 2, I think, before maybe Paranormal Activity 3. They made in Tokyo something it's called, and some people consider it part of the franchise. I still haven't watched it, but
I haven't seen it either. But I know what you're talking about.
I don't know. Okay, SC. I'm still waiting some franchise episodes. Some franchise episodes. I don't know.
I feel like once we get past episode 50, we're just gonna be more open to doing stuff like that. Not saying we might not do it before then. It's just
I've kicked it. Well, I kicked the idea of doing Halloween 1, Nightmare 1, and Friday 1 on one show. And I've kicked it to these guys, and I don't think they're ready for it yet. I think we want to wait till after the 50, which makes sense too, because we're going to talk about those movies on the 50, I'm sure. Yeah. I mean,
so I figure they're going to pop up.
Yeah, you would think.
Maybe.
Yeah. I'll see what these guys say. If these guys say, hey, next week let's do that show, I would be all game for it. I could care less. Whatever.
No.
I'm just I'm just glad we've waited a year and a half before touching them. That honestly, at least, I'm glad we haven't because we didn't want to. We said in the beginning we've covered those enough, So well, not Brandon, but Christian and I. So it'll happen. Okay, more from SC. You could talk about horror films you think are underrated or underappreciated and overrated. That will be on the next show. That we got to prep for.
Yeah, SC, I did a whole solo cast about that.
Yes, he did. Listen to it. It's not so bad.
Listen to it. It goes by real quick.
Half speed it.
It's a 6-hour show condensed in 90 minutes.
Brandon, don't breathe. Indeed.
No, I love that's one of my favorite things to do. Is I mean, even though I know it's hidden gems or guilty pleasures over underrated, I don't take those definitions at like face value. But I love talking about films that maybe other people don't know about or wouldn't normally give a try to.
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it on the next time we do something like this. Because that requires a little work.
Hey, next time, save you 2 cents for the waitress's tip.
Wowzers.
Oh shit. Okay. Chris Hall, really would like to hear you guys go over the pros and cons of the various horror streaming sites, free and pay. So many of them on Roku and similar devices. It's hard to make time for all of them and know which ones have the goods. I think you should also discuss and turn more people on to Slasher. It's really an incredible show with season 2 coming out soon, I think. The wife and I binge watched the hell out of it. Didn't you watch Slasher, Christian?
Yep. I really enjoyed it. Some major pros. I didn't like all the plot twists. It was great. It was very bizarre that they revealed and kind of summed up the majority of the show, I think, before the final episode. So there was another episode that was kind of interesting how they went with that, and I'll be looking forward to season 2. It was surprisingly gory.
They actually did that with Scream Queen season 1. All the major reveal was done before the last episode.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. They do that in American Horror Story a lot too, and that makes sense. It's really
I like that. Yeah. For sure. No, it was good. Like I said, it wasn't always successful, but it was a quick watch. It was pretty brutal, way gorier than I was expecting.
I gotta check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll check it out. As far as the streaming devices, I'm gonna rank them right now. This is how I feel.
Let's hear it.
Shudder is number 1 at this point. And I've heard people complain about it, and I don't know how they could.
Shudder's phenomenal. I agree with you. Shudder's got so much amazing stuff on there.
Shudder's got so much amazing stuff. It's inexpensive comparatively, and the only thing I feel like it's missing right now, if I had to be honest, would be the download option that they are giving you on Prime or Netflix. They don't offer it for every feature, but you can download it. So what I mean by that is I travel a lot. So although I will watch most things on Wi-Fi and whatnot, it's a great option when I'm at home to download like 5-10 movies to my iPad. And then I watch them on the plane or whatever. And it's great. You can watch them offline.
So that's what that is when on Prime, when it says download on my I'm watching on my iPad or something. It says download. I never know what
as long as you had space on your iPad, you download on your iPad.
Okay.
And Prime, the files are quite big. Netflix, they're a little smaller and manageable. Like I put The Wailing on there; it was great, and I was watching on the plane. It's phenomenal. And I mean, some people go, "What? You're watching on a little small screen?" I'm like, "Well, sometimes, yeah." But I like it, and I'm immersed. I have my headphones on, so you're immersed in the audio and the sound and whatnot, and you're there. And sometimes I prefer it.
I do too. Sometimes, like last night, I watched. In bed, I had my iPad, and I watched the one I just said, Savage Land. And because I watched it with my earbuds in, that helped me, with the sound design and why I enjoyed it so much. Maybe if I have a good enough system that I would notice it on my TV, I would think. But I like doing that too. It's like I like getting. There's 2 things that make you get more into a movie, in my opinion. 1 is watching it that way with earbuds, and 2 is watching it with subtitles. You don't miss a thing. Yeah. You read it all and you hear it all. You're completely submerged. It isn't like watching TV and sitting around and getting a text and looking at your phone and doing this and doing that. When you watch it that way, there are advantages to it. So I don't do it a lot.
I always watch with subtitles. I really do. I have to have subtitles on.
I'm quite a fan.
Sometimes I'll watch it with the TV off, and it really immerses you in the sound design.
You just listen to the movie. Yeah.
And just to clarify, if everybody, we've talked about it on the show before, but Netflix, Amazon, and Shudder, all the versions I have, of course, are Canadian. And they do offer, it's different content. So you guys mentioned all those giallos that were on there. I didn't have those options. Funny enough. So when I said I was going to go check out the version of Torso you guys watched, it wasn't available for me to watch on Canadian Shudder. We have different options. I don't know the reasoning behind that. The laws, the rules, the region. What difference would it make?
The copyright stuff. I guess
I don't understand all that. But it's Shudder's number one. Netflix, I would give number two because Amazon in Canada right now is still young, so there's not nearly as much. There's not nearly as much content yet, especially not horror. So Netflix has much more horror.
Netflix has dropped off here in terms of horror content.
Yep, it's bottom for me now.
Yeah, I mean it's good if you want to catch up on the last 3 years, but in terms of like this year, they've put up like nothing new.
No, they'll put up something that like it'll come to VOD and we'll see it right away, and then like all of a sudden 3 months later, everybody's talking about it. I'm like, well, we talked about this on the podcast 3 months ago. We're worried. Not that everyone listens to our show, but it's just like it seems like all of a sudden everyone's. I wish it was the case, but all of a sudden everybody's talking about like a movie that we all talked about that dropped on VOD like 3 months ago, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, it just dropped on Netflix. It just happened now, and you'll catch like maybe 5 or 6 of those a year. They'll just pop on Netflix randomly, like a few months after VOD. But that's really all it's good for at this point.
Well, Before I Wake ended up debuting on Netflix. We never did talk about that, like how we watched it, and then it was supposed to get a theatrical release. It kept getting pushed. It kept getting pushed. It kept getting pushed. And it came out on Netflix.
I don't think it came out on Netflix here.
It didn't come out on Netflix here.
It's been on Canadian Netflix for the last 2 months.
Yeah, and it made my top 10 last year. And
it's out on Blue.
Oh, and it might even have been longer. But I meant to tell you guys that, so that's why we haven't been talking about it. For whatever reason, Before I Wake has been released on Canadian Netflix, and it's been at least 2 months. I'd say probably longer though.
Nice. But Prime is number 2 now for us in the States. For me, it goes Shudder and then Prime. And I've been hearing people talking shit about Prime because they had that big thing on Amazon. Yeah. We're going to take away the hardcore stuff. Listen, I love hardcore stuff too. But I can't tell you how many movies I watched that We Go On. What's that movie I just rated that I gave 7 out of 10? That one. And Savage Land.
Yeah.
And there's like 3 or 4 other 2017 movies that are only on Prime, and they're good horror movies. So what? I can't watch Cannibal Holocaust on Prime. Big fucking deal. There's a lot of horror that isn't hardcore horror. It isn't like, I don't know.
We're getting a lot of low-budget independent stuff. That's pretty good. Look, we talked about Seven Witches. I reviewed that film, Sorceress. A lot of very, very independent films are popping up on there, and sometimes you discover a gem on there. I mean, none of the ones I've watched that I can think of off the top of my head have been really that bad. None have been amazing, but I still like checking out some of these films. And they usually pop up pretty regularly, whereas Netflix used to be my favorite. And it's just...
Yes, me too. It was great.
I don't know what's going on. I mean, I love Netflix because I do the discs in the mail, so I could still get other horror I want to see. And I still watch, obviously, TV shows. You know, that's my favorite in terms of TV shows, Netflix.
And you know what? It's like Jim Kay said. A lot of the obscure ones come to Netflix, and they're just there for a short time, and they vanish.
That's
the problem.
That's true.
That's the problem, is that they have shelf life, and that's where physical media does have an advantage. But still, and again, Shudder, Prime, then Hulu has taken the number 3 spot, and Hulu was shit for the longest time. And I'm not saying they're great now, but I've been putting these little things up in the group page the last 3 months where you're seeing a dozen or so movies suddenly dropping on Hulu. I watched Critters on Hulu for the first time.
I was gonna say that's the only movie I've watched on Hulu so far because I haven't really used Hulu much.
There's flicks on there. In the Mouth of Madness is on there now. Just random flicks just pop up. And like I said, there's about a dozen a month, and they're just popping up. So they're getting better slowly.
Hulu wasn't allowing streaming in Canada, so you had to use a VPN that was in the States to get it. It was very cumbersome. So I haven't checked it out lately. But yeah, so Hulu's really not worthy for Canadian content. Some of the ones I've tried out, I mean, YouTube is great. I got to be honest.
It is. It is
YouTube is great. Sometimes you could just find a movie that you just want to put it out there. It may be in the public domain. Sometimes it's not. We'll be honest. Sometimes these are not legal, but they're not available in, like, something might be wrong with the copyright. Something might be, it's in between releases. So for whatever reason, they're allowing it to be played out there. And there's been some great gems that you can find out on YouTube.
Look, Clown House. Clown House is a perfect example. If you ever really want to watch Clown House without spending $60 on a bootleg copy or $100, whatever it may be, they have a perfect copy on YouTube.
Right? Is it that
Rawhead Rex on that too?
Yeah.
There you go.
That's how I watched Rawhead as well.
I don't get it, and I'm not knocking collectors, but is it that big of a fucking deal? Like, I have PlayStation 4, and there's the YouTube app. Is it that big of a deal to pick up a thing, press a button? You could even hook your phone up to it if you have a smartphone, right up to your Netflix, and you type in Clown House and watch the movie. Is it that much more important to you to have that thing on your shelf for $60? Why is that such an issue that it's so coveted to have Clown House on disc when you could just go like this, press a button, and watch it? They act as if it's politics. Some of these collectors are so anti-streaming that they're like, oh, it's got to be. It's like, I'm never going to vote a Republican. I'm a Democrat. I mean, get the fuck out. Watch the movie. It's
I like
Watch
both.
it.
I
like collecting too, but I'm not going to be so stingy about it that it's a big fucking deal that I don't have it on disc. That's all I'm saying.
Streaming has saved me
tons of money.
Endless amounts of money because I'm a more picky collector now. Yeah, obviously I bought Evil Laugh. I think I paid like $8 for that DVD, but yeah, but you know, I don't mind. I don't mind. And you know what the thing was? After it didn't work, I watched it on YouTube. Yeah, because it didn't work on any of my players. But I have no problem doing a couple blind buys here and there, taking a chance on a movie.
It's fun too.
But I love.
I just wanted to show off before I wake. It's here. I could download it and everything from Canadian Netflix. Sorry.
But I just love having access to the movies, whether it's collecting, streaming, and I totally agree with the Shudder, Prime, Netflix in terms of US right now for horror content.
Yeah.
And even Hulu. I haven't checked it out as much, but Hulu, from what Dave is saying, it's
getting better.
Better.
It really
Chris,
is.
I put that link on there. Unfortunately, there's no other way to do it other than to check them out and to see what works for you, what the options are. A lot of them have public domain content. Some of them have like old school vampire, old school monster movies. Some have really B flicks. If you're into that stuff, you can find a lot of stuff out there, whether it be on YouTube or whether it be on one of the many sites that guy lists on that link that I put to our page. Crackle's another popular one. Crackle has content. It has content. It has. What it does is it allows you to watch the movie for about a half an hour, and then it'll pop a commercial every 5 minutes. Yeah. Unfortunately, it seems every time I've done it, it's the same fucking commercial over and over and over again. So it's like a pizza commercial that you'll watch for like 15, 30 seconds, whatever, and that will just repeat every 5 minutes.
Is Crackle the channel that has Seinfeld's show on, where he drives in cars? Okay, because I was watching that show on that. Yeah. Yeah, and another thing with the streaming services, with all of them, is you can browse the content before you even sign up.
Yep. And
even if you go on Amazon and you go on the streaming, there's a million of them between just Prime, between Shudder, and then they have all these different ones. They have Screambox and all these other little add-ons that you can get. And I think I tried it for the free trial, but they have all these little ones that you could add on and try. And just check out the content. You know, it all depends on what you're into.
Crackle's free. Yes. Crackle's free. It's just kind of like how TV used to be, where you would be able to, you put up an antenna, you got TV. The downfall is you watch commercials. So if you're anti-commercial, then Crackle's not for you. But if you are like, oh, it gives me free content, I have unlimited internet, or I've got enough internet to stream these movies, then like Blade's on Crackle right now, Blade Trinity, unfortunately, the third one. Survival of the Dead, Frankenfish, Always Know What You Did Last Summer. But then there's other good movies on here as well. I'm just doing something really quick. Pan's Labyrinth is on there right now. So the great thing is there's content out there. And then the list goes on and on. I have a couple on my iPad, Tubi TV and Snag Films. Not great by any means, but they had like Night Train to Terror was on one of them. So I'm like, oh, perfect. If it's free and it's legal, I'm going to do that. Why go illegal if I can have a legal substitute? That's where I'm going with it. And so there's going to be a lot of those options. Donanelli did mention that Vio, I think it's on that link. He says that one was a good one. Well, it was the good one back in the day. It has a lot of Asian horror on there as well. Funny enough, I went on it just to check out what the selection was, and someone else had posted something about cheerleader camp on her page today. It happened to be on there, so I started watching cheerleader camp so I can comment on the segment tonight to see how it was. Quality wasn't that great. Quality was a little digital, watchable, totally watchable, but just not HD by any means.
It's on YouTube as well. Same
watchable.
Thing. But here's what I do. Every couple of months, I go on. I take an hour out of my time, and I go on all of them. I go on every one that I have, and I add to my queue. That's all I do. I take like an hour. I comb through them all. I search. I go through everything, horror, genre, all that shit, and I just add it on, and I have all this unlimited shit there, and it's just there. And you go on. You have so much to choose from. Why not do it? There's nothing wrong with collecting physical media, but in this day and age, you can pretty much get by doing that. If there's something that you really can't get, then you go out and buy it if you want to. But I mean, something else about Prime, if you have Prime, you can sign up for those 7-day trials for other shit. Like Showtime might be carrying it, nobody else. Or HBO, or Screenbox, or this. There's links to everywhere. So if there's a movie that you can't get anywhere else, if you have Prime, there's a good chance you could find it somewhere. Or you could pay for it on iTunes or something like that. You can find just about everything on those things.
Yeah, and I have a feeling, and I really don't think this is going to be a shot, but eventually Shudder will probably go up in terms of...
How could it not?
Yeah, because they really, I mean, they're doing great with their original content, and they really do have such an amazing selection of older films as well.
Yeah, okay, let's move on. Adam
Levine?
Adam Claver. No, not this show.
Oh.
Again, he came up. Son of a bitch. He's got 4 things. We're going to talk 1. Remake the remake. What would you have done? Love that fucking idea. We're going to get into that. Underrated and overrated directors. That will come back on. Retrospectives. Still a few franchises that haven't been covered, like Critters or Wishmaster. You're barking up the wrong tree. That's what 22 Shots is for.
Didn't they do Wishmaster?
They probably did.
They did Wishmaster.
They were talking about it, or they did do it, didn't they?
They did Wishmaster.
They did it. Yeah, the gin. I remember.
Yes. And best horror movies with one great scene. That's something to think about. So those are good. Remake the remake is the only one that I said that we should prepare for. So that's a great idea. I mean, think about these remakes and what would you have changed to make it a better movie? That's basically what I took. What do you guys have? I have a lot of notes for this stuff.
I did 2 different versions. I did one that I would change the existing movie. I still think I want to edit edit it down one day, and that's Rob Zombie's Halloween. Because if I had to work with the original movie, I would eliminate the white trash element altogether, which is difficult because you'd have to cut. It'd be very hard to cut around what already exists, but that just ruins it for me almost out of the gate. And I would have Michael not talk nearly as much. I actually, mute might not work because he needs to develop that relationship with Dr. Loomis. However, it could still easily be one-sided, and that's fine. The conversation. Eliminate the duct tape stepfather death. I hated, not the death, but the duct taping. Always, from the second I saw it in the theater, still to this day, it makes me laugh because when he pulls that duct tape,
it quacks me up.
It's just so freaking loud, and then all of a sudden it cuts to him being all duct taped, like locked in. I hate it.
It should have gone with a giant Band-Aid instead.
I also, might as well have been at that point. And then I hate him wearing the full-size Myers mask when he goes walking down the hall to kill his sister.
Yes,
he looks ridiculous.
He looks like a midget.
Fucking ridiculous. They should have just kept. They should have just kept him in the clown mask for that. And most of it is in that lead up, in the prequel part. That's where I have a lot of my problems. And I actually think I've mentioned it on the show before. I prefer the breakout scene with him in shackles than the rape escape.
Agreed. I agree.
Funny enough. So the reshoots in that case, instead of the original idea. I think he was trying to go a little too wacky with the rape thing. It seemed, again, it went into Tarantino-esque area and cuckoo and crazy. I just like the transfer element. It's more to the source material.
Basic.
Yeah.
Basic. And good, in a good way. You know what I mean? Basic slashers.
And I'll be very brief here because I want to do the other one. The other one's Friday the 13th. And it's nothing that I like the remake. I actually like the remake, so it has nothing to do with the remake that was done. I just think what they should have done, and which they still should do, even though they're all locked up and don't know what the fuck is going to happen next, is they need to do a new trilogy. Friday the 13th trilogy, 1, 2, and 3, and that would have been a whole remake. And part 1 would have been Pamela. So it would have been about Steve Christie with Alice Hardy trying to reopen Crystal Lake, Pamela Voorhees trying to stop it. We know the twist, so the new twist would be revealed in Act 3 for the final chase, and that would be the big twist there. And then Part 2 would follow Sackhead Jason for the most part as he tries to tackle Ginny, who I made date Tommy Jarvis, who's also Alice's sister, and they're coming back, and that I kind of combined that stuff, and he gets the hockey mask for the end part of Part 2. So we're using the Sackhead and the hockey mask. So I'm kind of combining the
cutting
first
out
4
Shelley?
films. Shelley's out. And
Fuck Shelley.
yeah,
Good.
and then part 3 is just him continuing him trying to get Ginny. Sorry, I have notes there, but I don't want to take too much longer because I went really long there already.
Dave, you should be taking notes. Now that's a Friday fanboy right there.
I took notes. I got too many notes. Friday fanboy. I got too many. Let me talk to you about Halloween.
You haven't blown it enough tonight?
Here's what you do. You have better characters. No, you can blow what I'm doing. Not what Rob Zombie did. You can have better characters, more likable characters. Nobody's likable in that film. And have better characters, normal teens, make the babysitters the lead characters instead of secondary characters. The whole movie was all about Michael and Loomis. We don't need that. Don't have it be freaking serial killer 101, where what is it to be a serial killer? Oh, have a white trash family, have abuse, a divorce, he kills animals, everything that serial killer 101.
How about a normal family? It would have been great.
Yes, make him normal. Do not make him sympathetic. Just like the original. I'm not saying to have an exact an exact replica of the original, but just do this. Don't try to replicate the events of Halloween Night like Rob Zombie did, because that's where he dropped the ball to me. Do a new thing. Don't have the kid under the sheet playing the joke, and don't do everything the way they did it. That's what they could have done. It just would have been much better. Do not make Laurie Michaels' sister. Fuck that shit. Make it happenstance. Make it like it was in the original one. They never even made it her sister till the last 10 minutes of Part 2. Just make it a Halloween movie. The kid is a normal. He kills, goes away, gets out in a basic way, like you said, like Rob Zombie did, goes out and kills. That's what you do. Friday the 13th, here's what you do. You don't have a hostage. You do not have a hostage. You can have the girl find the thing, the medal, with a picture of Jason, and she could look like the mother. And that could come into play later when Jason sees her. Fine. Don't make that the crux of the film where he's keeping her hostage and doesn't know what to do with her. Stupid. Don't have him be underground. Stupid. Don't have bells telling you where freaking ringing so Jason knows where people are. That takes away the scariness of Jason. These are his woods. He knows where people are. He doesn't need devices to tell people where they are. He doesn't need that. He should be more secluded. There shouldn't be people around that are aware of him. These are his woods. He just wants to be left alone. No, it doesn't make it.
Woods.
That's not scary anymore. Make it a camp that's been dead for years and nobody goes back there. There aren't people living there. It's just a camp where tragedies happen and no one thinks anyone's there, kind of like they did in Part 2. Make it like that. Don't make it where everybody in town is in on the action. They did the same thing in Texas Chainsaw, and I'm going to talk about that. Same thing.
That's it.
Yeah, everyone in town doesn't have to know about it. That's stupid, and they're defending. No, they take a nice idea. They don't have to blow it up that way. Just keep it basic. It doesn't have to be. I don't even mind them making them giants. They don't have to be giants. Jason, I could see. Michael doesn't have to be a giant, but I'm not going to completely shit on that idea. But just do what I said, and both of those movies are better right off the bat.
Wow.
How about that? And I got more, but what do you got? What do you got, Brandon, for those movies? You got some?
You all right? Take it easy.
Fucking
You know, for me with the remakes, it's not even so much about remaking them. It's they shouldn't have been made in the first place, to be honest.
Well,
you know what? I just find a bulk of them to be useless unless they offer something new artistically or in a visual way. You know, the way The Fly remake is just a visual masterpiece compared to the original. The way the Maniac remake is much more artistic. The way The Hills Have Eyes remake is just, it has a more updated feel. Some of these generic remakes, these Prom Night remakes, these When a Stranger Calls remakes, these are very cookie cutter, dumbed down versions. Martyrs. We got Inside coming out soon. They're dumbed down to PG-13. So when I'm saying remake them, don't make them any less brutal. Make them more brutal. Make them more mean-spirited. I agree with you. I don't want sympathy.
Right. Fuck sympathy and background.
Yeah.
Right.
And you know what?
It's more scary that way.
I've come around to this whole idea of fuck the background too, because
dude.
Part of it. It's not that I liked it. It wasn't really an issue with me. But now it's like, you know what? You're right. Cut this bullshit out. Get to the fucking actual crux of the film.
Well, it takes the mystique out of it. And it's very difficult to, like they said, having Michael Myers as a kid, seeing him growing up like that is like when you see Darth Vader as a kid. Biggest mistake they could have made. Yeah. You know what I mean? It just really takes you out of it. And some people have bought into it. I just didn't, and it was from the presentation standpoint. Right from like line one being a fuck or whatever like that in the movie, you're just like, what the fuck what am I watching here?
Right.
Like it's just too much, but that's fine. We can.
Yep.
I've argued it before.
I was gonna say, how about like they did the Town That Dreaded Sundown, and even though it's not technically a remake,
no,
everybody kind of calls it that because it just took the same title but kind of told the continuation story. Why not just use the same title, but maybe almost make it like a sequel / remake?
Well, that's what they're doing. Evil Dead was that. The Town That Dreaded Sundown was that.
I never saw Evil Dead, but more of those. I told you, that's one I still haven't seen is the Evil Dead remake.
I have notes on it. I won't say too much.
But I love The Town That Dreaded Sundown. So put elements of remake of the original in there, and then take the story to new modern day heights.
True, but these have been remade already. So we're trying to remake them. We're trying to see what they did.
I know.
Better.
I know.
But I hear what you're saying, and I'm going to rattle more. Boom. Here we go. Well, listen to me. Go. Nightmare on Elm Street remake. Here's what to do. Number 1.
Make it good.
Don't make him a pedophile. Don't do it. Make him a killer. It's not both, and it's not one or the other. It's one or the other. It's not both, and he doesn't. Pedophiles don't favor. They favor one sex over the other. Everything they said about pedophiles, it's a bad take on it, and it doesn't do him any good. I understand why, to a degree, that what they should have done. This is the one time they could have had sympathy. When I saw the trailer the first time, and he was saying, "I'm innocent. I didn't do anything." How much better would it have been if some kids accused him because he was like a simpleton or something, and they played a joke and they accused him of being a pedophile, and then the parents burned him in the boiler room and killed him, and it turns out he was innocent. So now,
like Martin in Evil Laugh.
There you go, like Martin in Evil Laugh.
Parallels
but this is better. He has a reason now to come back and kill the children and the parents, and to punish the parents by killing the children years later. That would have been a better thing if you're going to remake it. Now, as far as the lead, that girl, don't make her a goth chick. She's not relatable. She doesn't do a good as a Nancy. If you're going to have a Nancy, they should have had Katie Cassidy, who played the other girl, who's beautiful and more relatable. She should have been the lead. That's where they dropped the ball there. There should have been zero comedy. Zero. Because that's what ended up ruining that franchise. It could have been just dark and no comedy. And that's it. Make him have a good reason to do what he's doing. That was the problem with that film. Boom. Hills Have Eyes. No CGI. The CGI fucked that film up. I enjoyed the film, but there's that one scene with the two girls and the two kids go, "Mister, will you play with us?" And they just threw that in there, and it's with these CGI heads, and it's just stupid. They didn't have to do that.
I like the big heads.
The big heads are fine. The guy with the real big head.
Yes.
free. Yeah, that guy. I know that was fucked up, but just those two kids that were playing that they just threw in there for a minute. That's my only knock on that film. That was one of the better remakes. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Don't have a cop and don't have a gun be the primary antagonist and the primary weapon of your film.
Yeah, hate guns.
Dude, this is nothing like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Nothing. Be a little bit closer to the original.
Yeah, but at least it's more modern to justify why the family can get away with what they can because the whole town is corrupt.
Yeah, but why include the whole town?
I know. I'm not saying, I like it. I'm just saying. I get it.
That's the problem. Keep the townspeople out of it. Don't make Leatherface become overexposed. And don't.
That's true, because it's more scary in the original because it's more isolated.
It's a fucked up family.
Yeah, just isolated.
Yes. Yeah. That's just it. Don't take the mask off. Don't have him be sympathetic. It could have been a much better film. My Bloody Valentine. Make it more, again, like the original. Have college-age kids partying. It doesn't have to be on such a grand scale. That's the problem with modern film. They make everything on a grand scale. Just forget making the love triangle so pivotal to the plot. It wasn't such a big deal in the first one. It was part of it, but I mean, that was the whole movie. And they make them cops. I mean, I want to like the characters. That's fine, but I don't need it to be an overexposed investment like a soap opera.
Yeah, the original is more about how mean-spirited the killer is,
and they kept it with the kids. In the remake, they're killing people at hotels and a trucker, and now get the fuck. Everything's overexposed now. It could have been so simple. Mm-hmm. Evil Dead. Change the way the book was introduced. And I won't spoil it for you, but this kid had a million chances to back away from that book, and he did everything he could to get to that book. That's just stupid. That's the problem. The Deadites didn't have to have such filthy mouths. It was overdone.
The Headites do.
The Headites, yeah, obviously. Fuck, look at us.
Yeah, exactly. They need filthier mouths.
Change the beginning of the film and change the end of the film, because I had problems with both, and I won't get into them now because it's spoiling it for you. But there you go.
No. How about the ultimate in terms of what most people consider to be like one of the shittiest remakes?
Is that when you strangle a hooker to death? The ultimate?
You got to pay extra for that.
I know what you meant.
Sorry.
The Psycho remake.
Don't go shot for shot and don't blaspheme on the character.
Well, obviously you got to recast. Nothing against Vince Vaughn, but when you watch a Vince Vaughn movie, you're expecting a silly comedy. Nothing against Anne Heche, but she's not much in the way of personality.
True. I never even watched it, so I can't say.
The shot for shot does ruin it. It's funny. I've read reviews where when he actually goes off, because he does go off and show a couple of things that are more experimental, more Gus Van Sant style, and like with the deer in headlights and other things. That's the stuff that worked for me. I'm like, why didn't he just do that?
Yeah.
And go that route? But the casting is a big one. The casting alone, and then he should have just done his own thing. It was a failed experiment.
I liked, I liked Dawn. There are things I would change, but I thought overall that's a quality remake.
Dawn?
Yeah.
The characters were too mismatched. It was too many characters, and they were too mismatched. Everything that's great about the original, you just got to know 4 fucking characters.
Yeah.
Was ruined in this movie.
And the baby scene, of course.
Yeah, it was everything. Yeah. It was a great setup in the beginning. I'm glad they used them all, but the characters didn't work. They should have made it a character piece more, where similar thing. People that work at the station, the guy that flew the chopper, not exact, but smaller scale.
This one's more of an action film, whereas the original's more of a character.
It's also missing the social commentary. But it's just a fast-paced zombie movie. But it's fun. I like the remake, but
I enjoy it.
It's a different movie to the Dawn of the Dead that I consider in my top 10.
Which I'll still give it respect, though, for at least being different versus shot for shot or trying to be.
Yeah.
And I like Sarah Polley, and it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were fine. Just too many characters. They could have. There's not many likable people. They just could have changed some things. And if you're going to talk about your top 10, I'm going to bring up one more movie, Black Christmas. They should have made that movie, because there's good kills in that movie.
Yeah.
They should have made it less goofy. There should have been no backstory. That's the problem. Keep it simple and scary.
Oh, they also fuck you over right in the opening scenes. They don't have the killer escape from the insane asylum until after they show the first death. So you obviously know there's 2 killers, right? It's just brutal. Like, I don't know what they were thinking with that. Like, You're like, well, they just showed a death. Now they're showing someone escape from the asylum. Either he's going to be innocent or there's two killers. Done. Like,
yeah,
crazy.
I'm not a huge fan. I'm not a huge fan of the remake.
No, and it's too bad because I was looking forward to it because I'm not the hugest fan of the original. So I'm like, take this good idea, make it scary, have the house and have college kids there, and take some of the good stuff about the original, like the phone calls and the scary shit that was there, and implement it in a better film. But I don't know why modern filmmakers just can't do it, and why we can sit here and come up with better ideas.
Well, I think it's because, sex sells and violence sells.
Yeah, sex and violence is fine. We want that in our horror movies, don't we? Do we want it in our slashers? Why not? I mean...
Yeah, but they focus on that. It takes away from character development. People aren't like, give us more character development. Just give us sex.
Black Christmas remake did not have character development.
Yeah, exactly.
No, have very attractive women.
Exactly. Sex sells.
Hot cast.
Very attractive.
Exactly. All right, let me try to get a few more of these out before we go. A light. Yeah, we're not doing that. Okay. Most memorable villains, most memorable kills, which we've just done. So we'll do that on another show. Best scream queens. That'll be another show. Sorry, no 20 Final Girls, Christian.
Oh yeah, the one that I prepared for you, sons of bitches.
Well, best female slasher.
What did I do?
This is
I
what
was gonna
she
let
says. What'd you say?
He's like, you sons of bitches. I heard plural in there.
Well, this is what it says right here.
Sons of bitch.
And he's put it up there. It says best female slashers or the unfortunate lack thereof in the game. And then a nice, great conversation started with a lot of people about female slashers.
Female slasher, yes, but female killers, there's a lot. I kind of got confused and started listing a lot of female villains more so than just female slasher villains. But yeah, there's definitely lack of. But that's a whole other show.
There's way more than I thought. Actually, I actually was like, this is going to be difficult, and then I started listening. I'm like, holy fuck! I said this out loud. I went, holy fuck!
You got Pamela.
Yeah. Well, of course, Pamela, Angela, fucking High Tension, Inside, The Loved Ones, Prevenge, Serial Mom, Happy Birthday to Me, Urban Legend, the original one.
True.
And that's just, I only picked the ones that I didn't pick.
Night School, Girls Night Out, Green 4.
There's another one that I won't say because it's a spoiler, but yes.
A bunch of movies too.
There's a couple of them, but
Hellraiser.
But none of them for no reason. That's one of the points they had. You never see like a female escape an asylum, some regular slasher without a motive. Female. It's always something.
Yeah, it's not a mindless woman.
No, it's not a mindless woman. Never.
Going out of you're right.
They're always traumatized.
A life torn apart. Yeah, a love loss, revenge, a mother's loss. But some of the best memorable killers. Funny enough.
There have been a good amount. You're right, and there's a couple that are in our Argento films that are revealed in the last reel. Yeah.
One of my favorites.
There's a couple of them. I mean, Argento does it.
But one of my favorites is.
Yeah, I know what you're gonna say. He's the first one. The first time we see it, and then there's another one later. I don't want to say. Actually, there's like 3 that I'm thinking of. So yeah, a couple giallos and one that's not even a giallo. But
yeah, I'm thinking of a giallo.
I know what you're thinking of. I know exactly what
I know 2 off the top. But,
right, and then there's the 2 giallos, and there's another one, and it's kind of a screwy movie where there's 2 killers and whatever. And there's a 4th. There's 4 that I can think of off the top of my head that are Argento. So there you go. Argento, the guy that people say is misogynistic with the way he kills women and everything else, honestly, he has female killers more than anybody.
Yeah, he's equal opportunity.
And he should be, damn it.
Women deserve equal rights and lefts.
But yeah, there really should be more. I want to see mindless women slashers.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't you want to see like you do a guy in a slasher film?
Well, no, but I think that's exactly the problem. Was you had all those just mindless guys running around killing people. It became kind of just like, okay, been there, done that. What I find is that they make the women killers way more colorful. So I actually appreciate the fact that, like, when you learn about what happens in Inside or with Prevenge or The Loved Ones, I find that it adds another level. But if you're thinking that works against them because it's...
No, I don't think it works against them. I just want to see it. I just want to see a Michael or a Jason or a Leatherface that's a woman.
Yeah, a female boogeyman.
Version.
A female boogeyman.
That's what I'm saying. That would be nice to see. And I think that's the point that they were making in this chat, was that you don't see that, and I think that would be cool. How about a disfigured woman like Jason? Jacina or some shit.
Jacina.
Yeah, Jacina. That sounds perfect.
A female. Just
a bitch tits Jacina.
Literally.
With a tool belt.
But you're right. There are a lot of female killers. There's more than you think off the top of your head. Josina. How's that? Is that better? Does that sound like a good girl's name?
Oh, man.
Yeah, they don't have to be mindless either. But one would be nice.
You've never seen a mindless woman just going around slashing people up like Charlie's Farm or something.
Right, just
just a woman going around massacring.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what
I know what you're saying. I wouldn't mind seeing that. Mindless in terms of entertainment value. Just mindless entertainment.
Just a slasher. Just someone going around. How many slashers are we watching that are not explained? Just, some guy shows up and starts whacking people.
Those are my least favorite, but yeah, there's a lot of those. And
Halloween.
Whacking people off.
What about Halloween?
Yeah, but Halloween does it well.
Fair enough.
Most of them don't. Most of them are just really bad clones of Halloween.
Halloween might make my top 50. Might. That's all I'll say.
Get the fuck out of here.
If Halloween doesn't make your top 50, you're pretty much off the show.
Dave, I love that laugh.
Yeah. He's laughing.
That laugh is what's his name? Is Bradley Whitford from Billy Madison. That's what that laugh was.
I never saw it. I don't know.
You never saw Billy Madison? That's Eric's laugh.
I don't know. I don't like Sandler. But yeah, there's more here. Obviously not going to get to them, but we're going to do other shows like this, and I've saved these questions, so we'll have more because there's a lot of good stuff, and I wish
there's some great stuff here, and I'm glad we're saving a lot of this because I didn't come in as well prepped as I wanted to with this.
We didn't have time. It's been a very busy time for all of us. That's why That's why we asked you guys for topics because we didn't know what we wanted to do.
Yeah.
So it got us through an hour of the show, basically, and we're gonna do it again. It got a good hour of energy. An hour of this, I'm saying, of the recommendations, from the listeners.
Look at this fucking guy. He's so pissed right now.
It's exactly an hour. It'll be an hour and 8 minutes, actually. So there. So anyway, we'll come back to this list. Thank you, guys. And there's more. Some require more prep. Some I wish we could have got to tonight, but we didn't. But anyway, we will. So we're going to go into our second 20, and then we're going to wrap it up. So
you got your list there, Chuckles?
I do have my list. This is going to be fun for the viewers to imagine what we're talking about.
Okay, let's
listeners.
Okay.
Well, here's obviously.
I went with originals. I just want everybody to know that I didn't go for any of this new wave shit because there's a lot of cool things being done with movie posters and original artwork with artists getting involved, and they're awesome. But we're talking about old school, what was like the original poster or the original VHS box art.
That's what I went. I went VHS, and some of these are nostalgia picks.
Sure. Got it, man.
That's what it is. What should we call it officially? The top 20 horror movie cover art?
Horror movie cover art / favorite.
Well, that's got a good ring to it.
From movies.
Yeah, right. But here's what I suggest we do. We all have our computers in front of us here. All you got to do is pull it up. If someone doesn't know, just put it so you know what we're talking about. And the people listening can do the same. Most of them are probably going to know if they're fans of stuff like this. So,
okay.
Anyway.
Brandon, What is your 20 to 11?
Number 20. I know what you did last summer. Those great floating heads.
Oh, fuck off. He's off the show.
I'm kidding.
Mute his mic.
Number 20 is Blackout from the 80s. Really creepy cover, just a guy in a gimp mask. If you've never seen
that was L. Jolson.
Too soon.
I gotta look it up. I'm already looking shit up. Blackout.
Blackout. I love it. I own it on VHS.
Blackout VHS. I'm looking it up as we talk.
The Keith Carradine film.
I know that one. Okay.
I love that. It's iconic for me. Cool. Number 19, Zombie. I love the original cover art. I remember being terrified as a kid, just seeing that in a video store, being like, "What the fuck is that?"
Isn't it weird that I didn't like it? That I thought it looked cheap.
So did
terrified me. You didn't like it?
No, I agree with Dave. I thought I was like, this looks like a really cheap
Yes.
It's just like a photograph.
No, but and my next
I
one
like
is
it now.
is very similar. The next one I picked is Rabid, the Warner Home Video cover with just the dead girl on the front.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
I gotta
She's
look
sitting
that
in
up.
the freezer, right? Or
in the freezer. Just I don't know why. Just it did it for me.
I just type in VHS after everything, and that usually comes up.
Number 17, Trilogy of Terror. The MPI cover had a bunch of pictures of the Zuni fetish doll, obviously walking through the video stores. I had to see that movie.
That's cool. That rabbit one's cool. Shit.
Yeah, right? Terrifying.
Yeah.
Number 16, Schoolgirls in Chains. Very misleading cover. It looks like a mongoloid just like torturing women chained up in a dungeon when it really is nothing like that. Number 15, Halloween 3. I like the simplicity of it. Just the 3 kids wearing the masks on the cover. I like the color scheme. Number 14, Nightmare on Elm Street.
Aha.
Wow, man.
Girl on the bed.
Here's why I don't have Nightmare on Elm Street, or I'm gonna spoil any of them, because none of them are accurate to the movie. It was always my problem with that fucking.
It's not accurate to the movie, but I feel like the original is at least representative of what the film is.
Yeah. I'm not dissing it. I'm just saying that's why I never gravitated towards them. That's always been my issue.
Yeah, I didn't put Dream Warriors on there because you look at them and like, who are these Dream Warriors on the cover?
And it's a brilliant thing with them on the razor blades. It's a great idea. But what the hell is that? Who are these people? That was the problem. I don't know, why would you do that when you make a film? But anyway, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to derail you, Brandon.
Number 13, Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Awesome.
Santa going down the chimney with just the axe hanging out over the top.
Awesome.
Number 12, Alice, Sweet Alice. The bag flipped over on its side with the mask in there and the knife that's sticking out of the doll. And number 11, one that terrified me as a kid, Scanners. Just Revik there, just in like that final battle scene, like scanning like crazy.
Awesome.
A lot of nostalgia in those picks, but man, I would love to have poster art for any of those.
You're not kidding.
Well, a couple of copies, but I don't know when they're going to pop up on the list. So, but good choices, man.
Definitely.
My number 20, April Fool's Day.
Nice.
I love that. I know it's more photography, but I just always love the noose design in her hair. I thought it was great. And the way you see the characters in the background and with her holding a knife as well. Number 19, Sleepaway Camp. Nice. Freaked me out, but I never wanted to rent it for whatever reason. I was so worried that it was going to be a cheap Friday the 13th ripoff, which it was. Number 18, Poltergeist.
Nice.
Number 17, Jaws. Iconic. These ones were the ones that I remember being always up there. And number 16, The Thing. Nice. Creepy, simple, creepy. Number 15, Trick or Treat, the 2007 one, or 9, however you want it.
Just Sam? It's like Sam on the thing?
Yeah, I just like it. I just like the simplicity of it, and I like how they've done it. Number 14, Psycho 2. The reason I like Psycho 2, I'm going to go on about this, is because I actually always thought it was the Psycho 1 poster, but really it was just the iconic picture that they used to take from the movie where he's standing up by the house. The Psycho house, and he's standing up there. And so then Psycho 2 kind of copied it and made it the cover of the video box. Not the cheapo ones of just Norman's face with the Psycho 2 over it. I'm talking about that one where the house and you see him standing there. It's iconic, and I love that. And then number 13, Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
Oh.
Number 12, Visiting Hours.
Nice. I love that one.
Yeah, with the lights, with the skulls. Beautiful.
The skull freaking for windows in the hospital. Awesome.
Number 11, Night of the Creeps. And that Night of the Creeps is going to be the one of either the one with the dead guy at the door or the one where the hand is breaking through the door in close-up. Either one of those ones. I'm good with either of those. I think that was it. That's my top.
You did not throw me. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding. A little Night of the Creeps joke.
I know. I got it.
All right. I just want to make sure.
Little is right.
Hey. I'm small, but I'm fierce.
Okay. All right. Let's see what I got here. Now, number 20 is the only one that's recent at all for me, and that is VHS. That's just the the skull face.
Sorry.
I think it's pretty cool. And as we go on here, you're gonna notice that's kind of a trend with me is the skulls. I've always been into skulls and skeletons since I was a kid, and these are the ones that I remember the most. So don't be surprised. Number 19 is a movie called Spasms, and I don't know if you guys are familiar.
I remember that looked so. I got to look at it again. I remember
the thing
being like
spooks me out.
Yeah, but that's it because you don't like facial shit, right?
Yeah, dude, it's a spooky looking freaking effect. It's like a mongoloid looking thing, and so it's always kind of like bugged me out a little bit. So it stuck with me all these years, you know. Number 18 is pretty. Do you see it, Brandon? Yeah. It's fucking freaky, that thing, ain't it?
That's terrifying. Yeah,
dude, I don't like it. Yeah. Number 18, it's kind of basic, but I like the way it looks, and I love the movie Amityville 2: The Possession. It's just a house, but the way the windows are lit bright, and it's got like this blue thing to it. It's like a blue tint to the whole cover of the box. I'm going to say the box because it's all VHS, of course. 17, Salem's Lot. It's a real clever thing. It's you see the cape of the vampire or whatever it is spread out and going over the house and the time. It's just a cool looking thing there. 16, It's Alive, and that's creeped me out since I was a kid because it's the same thing that they showed in the trailer. There was like a teaser trailer when I was a kid, and we're going back. Cause what year did It's Alive come out? All I know,
74 or 76.
I would say before 70. Is it 76? Because I would have thought before. Because I recall it's an early memory of being afraid, like the first time being genuinely terrified of something. 74. Like I'm thinking, there 74. You go. I'm 2 years old, and I remember that trailer coming on the television. I remember where the television was. I remember what the room looked like. Everything. Just because of being terrified of that commercial, of that little teaser with they were slowly panning towards the direction of the side of the stroller with his hand there and just says, "It's alive." It just spooked me out. So the box is the same thing. So that also creeped me out. They just tie in. Number 15, very basic, and I love the movie, but I think it's a kick-ass thing, and it's Creepshow. It's just the skeleton.
Oh, it's a great cover. Oh, that's a
tickets.
Almost made my list.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Nice. That's cool. 14, The Mutilator.
Yeah, another one that almost made my list. Good one.
Back in the day, how many of these were made where they were just drawings? They were art. They're not even pictures from the movie. And this was one, and it has by pick, by X, by hook, by buy or something. It's got the people. It's pretty badass, man. Here I go with the numbers again. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16. Wait, 20, 19. Sorry. Number 13. This came up earlier in our group page tonight, and that's so weird. Cheerleader Camp. Another one. Drawing. It's a skeleton, bloody pomp. It's a skeleton freaking cheerleader in the air. I just think it's badass looking, you know? Number 12, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But just this particular one. It's just Leatherface. It's another art one. It's Leatherface on the front holding the chainsaw and these eyes in the very top of the screen, in the very top of the box looking. So there was a couple different ones from Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah. I had a VHS with that one on it.
Oh, really? That was a VHS. That was it. Is this my 11? Yeah, this is my 11. Slaughter High. Very basic. Another skeleton.
Fuck Slaughter High.
But cool. Another one. No way, fuck Slaughter High. It's great.
It is a great cover art.
It's a great cover art, and again, it's drawing, but it's art. You know what I mean? It's not a picture from the movie. It's something that somebody created, and it's cool looking.
You really like skeletons, man.
I do really like skeletons. So there you go.
Nice.
That is awesome, and that's what it is all about. Like, it's about how it affected me as a kid. I think is my top, almost all the top 20, but definitely the top 10, no question.
See, I felt like my 20 through 11 was where I put the ones that hit me as a kid, and then I kind of picked more of my favorite.
And I think you're right. 10. I think there's a combination. Now that I actually look at the list, I moved ones around. So it's a combination, actually.
I did that too. All right, so...
See, I have a number 1, and everything else is 2 through 19. That's it. I have one that's my favorite, and everything else, they're interchangeable for me.
Number 10, Chopping Mall.
Nice.
It's a great cover.
It is cool.
Robot arm holding a bag full of body parts.
Yeah, it's sweet.
Yeah. Number 9, Happy Birthday to Me with the shish kebab cover.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Number 8, Popcorn.
Ooh,
cool.
I love the cover art for Popcorn.
nice.
Yeah. Number 7, Sleepaway Camp.
Gotta love it.
Iconic. Number 6, Curtains. I always love that cover.
I knew you were going
always loved that cover art. Even though it took me forever to finally see this movie, and even though the cover art has nothing to do with this movie, it's like,
right.
I don't know. What is it? It looks like a creepy doll coming out of like a big
Meat
vagina.
Curtains,
Yeah, meat curtains. Yes.
But it looks like an old guy with like big flappy lips. Like, ooh, his lips are like, but it's just a really cool, creepy cover. Number 5, Moods will like this one. The Video Dead. That's just great cover art.
Which one is that? I always confuse that with Video Violence. I think
Video Dead is the zombies coming to the TV.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It's art, right? It's
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
right on. Sweet.
Number 4, again going back to childhood, Jaws. I mean, that's just terrifying. I love that. Number 3, House. I love the rotting hand just
It's awesome.
turning the doorknob. Number 2, Carrie. And this is also a throwback to childhood. The one side by side. It actually has just a picture of the prom scene of her before and after.
Yeah.
Pre-blood, and covered in blood.
Right,
And
it's like a top and bottom, right?
I think
It's not side by side?
I think it's. I'm pretty sure it's side by side, and
Okay,
it's.
maybe I'm wrong.
I didn't pick it because I wasn't sure if that was an original or not, and all the original ones didn't look like they were just more basic. As Dave loves to
That
say.
one I definitely remember seeing in the video stores.
It was
that
creepy.
was
Yeah.
magnetic video. Yeah, it's just her holding the bouquet on the left side, wearing the crown, and then vivid red blood, ready to kill everyone on the left. And then number 1, I know you think it's silly, Dave, but I just fucking love this poster, this cover art, and it's Fright Night. It's just, I love it.
Oh, I don't think it's silly. I think it's cool.
Oh, I thought you didn't like it.
It didn't turn me on to rent it when I was a kid.
Oh, okay.
Which I don't
That's all I'm
understand.
Yeah, to me that was the film like I wanted to rent as a kid. I'm like, look at this terrifying cover.
Honestly, it was
great list.
It was just. It is a great list. It is.
I mean, to cut about the reason I'm pissed is because he did kind of what I did to him earlier, and there's a lot that he stole from there.
Me too. That's why I got backups.
Okay, you were about to say something, Dave, to rebuttal that you were wrong in not renting Fright Night?
Oh, the Fright Night thing. Not that I was wrong, but it's just the title that turned me off. That's all. The title turned me off, and the cover didn't do anything enough to sell me to say, oh, it might be badass. I'm like, because again, I didn't care about vampires so much.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Again, it was the 3 S's. It was slashers, Satan, and spirits. That's what I was into. But I enjoy the movie, and I respect the cover.
Number 10 for me is Scanners.
Nice.
Love it.
Yeah.
Number 9 is The Video Dead.
Oh,
I'm not a huge fan of that movie, but that cover kicks ass.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No question. Chocolate! That's from the movie, sorry. Number 9, Reanimator. Or number 8, sorry, Reanimator.
Which one? With he has a good head on his shoulders and one on his desk?
Yeah. I loved it. Always loved that one. Thought it was great. And then number 7, House. I won't get into that movie. We'll save it for the 86 show, but can't deny that cover art is awesome. Number 6, Return of the Living Dead.
There it is.
Always loved that cover art. That actually probably should be higher. I think I didn't mix a few of these up because I do love the next one, but I think I'd swap these for sure. Number 5 is Happy Birthday to Me. Again, always freaked the shit out of me in the video store when I was a kid. Number 4, Fright Night, of course. Love it. Number 3, Creep Show. So I don't know why, Dave, you said it should be on there. Creep Show is, I think, one of the coolest fucking covers ever. Always thought that was creepy and cool. Number 2, another one that always haunted the shit out of me when I walk into a video store, and that's Maniac.
Oh, there it is. I'm glad you brought it up because I don't know why I left it off my list, but it is just an iconic cover.
It's fucking iconic. And then number 1, and I love it, and it's Friday the 13th. I love it. I mean, all the other ones I think for Friday the 13th are fairly generic. Even part 4 saves it because I do like the fact that they stick a knife in the mask with the blood. That's probably the other one that I'd go to. Part 3 is not bad. Part 2 is very generic unless the had the one with Jason coming out of the lake.
Yeah.
But they don't have that one. It's just kind of generic. Part 1, though, has that art of the drawing art. And then the reveal that I never knew existed that Dave just showed us on the site where you could see Pamela laughing in the background from the darkness.
Yeah.
It's just a fantastic cover.
That is great. Yeah, I actually almost had part 4 on the list.
Yeah. And I love the final chapter, too.
Yeah, that was, Good
I
one.
don't love A New Beginning.
No.
No, it's ridiculous. Why does it look that way? I don't get that at all. I don't get that at all. Okay, now, it ended up perfect for me. I had 26 movies written down here, right? And I ended up, check it out, you guys picked the exact number. You guys picked 6 that I got to take off my list. So now I have 10 that have not, well, one's been named yet because I have to. But everything else, the last 9
Beautiful.
have not been named. So, like, ones I would have had on my list that you guys mentioned were very obvious ones, really cool ones. House, what else did the 2 of you have? There's like 3 or 4 of them that the 2 of you both had. Those are all on my list, and I love those too. But luckily, you guys got to bump them, and I got to go last, and it worked out perfectly. So I have...
What a dick.
Yeah, so you got to go first and last. You planned this exactly the way
going first always sucks. Going first sucks, remember? Because then... Oh, no. Going last always sucks, but that's why this time it worked out. Because
you made it work out both times for you.
I did. It worked out.
Yep, prick.
Yes. Well, now people get to hear more shit. Okay, some of them I'm surprised you guys didn't say because you like the movies more than I do. Okay.
It's about the cover art, though. I picked the video dead. I'd never need to watch that movie again.
But it's good cover art, too. That's what I'm saying. This is good cover art, and you guys like the movies more than me, so I'm surprised they didn't make the list. But maybe you disagree. Number 10 is My Bloody Valentine. It's basic, but it's that mask.
You know what? It's another one.
Looking.
Yeah, that other one. It is another one that I'm actually I think I just forgot about it. That probably should have been my top 20.
There you go. And the way it looks, and it's the black cover and the lettering, My Bloody Valentine. It's simple and it's effective. It's great. Now, number 9, this is the only twofer I did, but it's not that big a deal. It's Faces of Death 1 and 2. I have very vivid memories of both of these at the video store, and they're both really cool. The first one is just the black with the skull on it, and it's really cool, and with a warning on it and shit. And the second one is all red, and there's a guy dressed up as a doctor, but he's a skeleton as well. And it's just, those are very vivid to me.
Fucking love skeletons.
Both, I do. When I was a kid, every year, like I'm talking, 5, 4, 3 years old. Every year, what do you want to be for Halloween? Skeleton. I was always fucking skeleton. So obviously I was meant to be a horror fan right out the bat. Maybe it was because I saw that it's a lot.
Funny. I was a skeleton at that age too, but only one year.
Dude. Every year I wanted to be a skeleton for the longest, until I discovered Jason, and then everything changed. But 10, 9, 8, House by the Cemetery.
Yeah,
but it's a certain one.
Yeah.
There's a couple of different ones floating around, but the one I always remember is it's a real nice looking blue, and there's a hand coming out, and it's got an axe in its hand. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, I thought it was a knife. The knife, and then you see the house, the graveyard in the foreground, the house in the background.
Maybe that's what it is.
But it was on my Good, okay. It's a good cover. Yeah.
Number 7.
I'm sorry, you were talking about
House by the Cemetery. Type in House by the Cemetery.
With the blade coming out of the ground?
Yeah, but I said an axe. I apologize.
Oh, okay. No, I just wanted to make sure I was looking at the right one.
Now, here's one you probably have to look up that no one's familiar with. Mausoleum.
Oh, no, Mausoleum's a great one. I was going to give it an honorable mention.
Okay. Mausoleum is...
Yeah, that's a good one.
Got a lot going on in it, A
lot of skeletons, man. You got a skeleton fetish.
I know. It's crazy.
You literally might have some skeletons in your closet.
Number 6, Scream and Scream Again. And I can't believe either of you guys brought it. It is an absolute classic.
What's with you and the fucking skeletons?
But it's a badass skeleton.
It is.
Half skeleton, half person. It's being dissolved in a fucking
acid. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it's awesome. I always remember that one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
These are ones that are just etched in my brain from the video rental days that are just, I think about them a lot.
You know what? I didn't know that one, Scream and Scream Again. I had to check it out. No, that one doesn't look familiar at all.
Oh, it's so cool. Don't you think it's cool?
It is cool.
Yeah, man. I can't wait to have these things hung up in my house one day. But anyway.
Triple distilled horror. As powerful as a vat of boiling acid.
Awesome. Number 5. Terror in the Aisles. Again, yes, it's a skull. It's a skull, but it has all kinds of different movies written in it. You know, all the movies that are in Terror in the Aisles. It's just embedded in my brain as a great cover. Number 4, this is a really cool one that gets overlooked. House on the Edge of the Park. It's a really cool cover because there's shit going on
with the trees,
with the house and the trees being the eyes and the hood. It's just a cool looking thing. You know, it's a lot of work went into that thing. Number 3, and this is the one I was surprised that Christian didn't have on his list. Prom Night. Kind of basic, but with the knife and the mask and shit, it's freaking memorable. You know?
No, that's the thing. There's so many.
I know.
I could have gone on and on.
50. I know. I could have let her off 50 right now. Seriously. What a sad state of affairs that everything here is from the 80s. I mean, maybe not sad because we got to live it, and that was awesome. But a shame that it died with the VHS days. It's over with. You know, the floating heads came in, and that was the beginning of the end. Number 2, I'm shocked nobody brought this one up. Halloween 2. I think it's great. The pumpkin with the skull face in it. I think it's creative. It's cool. It harkens to the movie itself when the pumpkin breaks and you see the skull in the back. I think it's easily the best of the Halloween covers. And the first one is really cool, but man, I have a shirt of it too, Halloween 2. I fucking love it.
It's funny. I like the first, and I had the poster for some, but it never really screamed amazing to me. It was like the pumpkin face with the knife coming down. It was okay. It's always just been okay. Halloween 2, I do like a little bit more. But yeah, I bumped that for sure.
Let me tell you something about the Halloween one. Have you ever noticed Michael's face in the guy's hand? You know the hand that's holding the knife? It's Michael. It's the Michael Mass profile.
I didn't know that. I'll have to look at it now.
Look at it right now, and then you'd be like, you won't be able to unsee it now that I've shown that to you. It's one of those things, you know. And speaking of not being able to unsee, I recently put something up in the group page about something in this cover that I'm up. That's my number 1. And yes, just like you, Christian, this was by far and away my number 1. Friday the 13th.
Nice.
I think it's brilliant. It's brilliant. Yeah. It's beautiful. The artwork inside and it being a body, the whole thing about it, and the lettering for Friday the 13th. Yeah. It's a perfect movie poster. And
it used to scare the shit out of me as a kid as well. And,
man.
And I knew nothing about the
Honorable
movie.
mention time.
Honorable mention. You got them? Go ahead. You guys took all mine, so I don't even have
There's too many to name.
Yeah, really there is.
There really is. I love dolls. I love dolls. I like Rawhead Rex.
Really?
I really do. I remember that as a kid. I really
do
right
like the shitter now with that one. Rawhead Rex.
Burial Ground is a good cover.
Yeah, that face in the ground.
Yeah. Monkey Shines is actually a good cover.
It's cool, but it's been done like 3 different times. It was that, and there was a couple other movies it was on, believe it or not. I remember.
I'm surprised no one mentioned The Exorcist. It's simple, but fucking creepy and effective.
As much as I love it, yeah, it is really cool.
And The Hitcher. Yeah. I like The Hitcher. I bumped The Hitcher off my list. I bumped Chopping Mall, I bumped The Hitcher, and I bumped Army of Darkness off my list.
Evil Dead 2.
Evil Dead 1.
2. No, Evil Dead 2. I hated that skull with the eye.
Yeah.
It always bugged me. It always bugged me. I always thought it was a cheap cover. But I love Army of Darkness.
Really?
Pieces
is cool. That chainsaw. It looks a little cheap, but it's still kind of cool. You know? Here, how about this one? Return of the Living Dead 2.
Christian mentioned that, I think.
No, I do. I mentioned Return of the Living Dead. I do like Part 2, but Part 2 looks like they took 1 and then put the Fright Night cover on it. Yeah,
yeah, but it's cooler because it's zombies underneath it. You know what I mean?
Terror on Tour is a cool cover.
I don't know about you guys. I actually don't mind Return of the Living Dead 2. It is a comedy horror. Like, it's comedy. But I think because I watched it, you know how you guys might have... I know you guys are going to be going off on about House next week and whatever, and I'm not a big House fan at all.
No, we're not. House is in 86. It
got bumped, didn't it?
Yep.
Yeah,
Oh, then I could have talked about it because I mentioned it here about it being on my list about good cover art. Great cover art. I'm not a fan of that movie.
How are you not a fan of that?
Because I think it's a gimmick movie that it does not...
Did you just watch it?
Yep. I just watched it. And okay, so I like the fact that I saw that I did all the things. Harry Manfredini's in it. It's got the cameo from the guy from
Cheers
3.
Oh, the guy from 3. Oh, wait a minute.
Jason.
No, Richard Brooker? I don't think so.
No, the guy at the beginning, Hank, Harold.
Oh, Harold?
He's in it.
Oh.
Yeah, he's in it. And then all that stuff. I find that, what's his face, the Greatest American Hero guy, has this smirk to him that looks like he's just smirking through the whole thing. I find his acting's off. I think the script's off. I think the gimmicks are okay, but they kind of wear it the welcome. The makeup is horrible.
What?
The practical makeup effects are dreadful in this movie.
You're off the show.
I think I gave it a 6 out of 10.
Shit, I gave it an 8. I don't like it.
Yeah, I'm more with Dave on that.
House is one of those movies that I never want to watch when I'm sitting here, but once I sit down and start watching it, I enjoy myself. You guys have movies like that when you think about it, like,
yeah,
I'm not really in the mood to watch that. Or you don't have the most fondest memories, like, yeah, that movie's okay. But then you sit down and you watch it and you remember why you own it and why you like it.
I'll watch it again and ask yourself how those gunshots sound when any gunshot in the movie just sounds horrible coming out of the gun. And then all the Vietnam scenes look like they were filmed in like the backstage of, somewhere else. And they just put a bunch of bushes together and they're like, it's just brutal.
Did you look at that Halloween poster or no?
I did.
The hand? Did you see it?
It just looks like a face in the hand. I didn't notice it actually being
the Halloween 2 one?
No, Halloween
the
original. Just Halloween VHS with the pumpkin and the knife. The hand that's holding the knife is Michael Myers' face. It's a side view of it.
I don't see Michael's face.
No, it's one of those things that you can't see at first, but once you see it, you'll always see it. It happened to me too. It's just one of those things.
You're gonna have to tell me where the eyes are at one point.
I'm gonna tell while you guys are looking at that. I'm gonna say more about House. So because I'm not making friends with my reviews of older movies lately, but I said I was never a huge fan of this film. I always just kind of liked it. I find it very oddly paced. It's way too long for its own good. It's overly bright. It's poorly edited. The Vietnam sequences all seem to be filmed on a soundstage. The creature effects are poor. William Kay is not a good actor. I liked him in Carrie, but he overacts in this. Plus, he's got this look as he's always smirking. That annoys me. The Friday the 13th links, produced by Sean Cunningham, directed by Steve Miner, music by Harry Manfredini, some cues lifted right from Friday the 13th, A New Beginning. And the guy who plays Harold in Friday 3 is his cop, or the agent, the cop that says, "We didn't find any boy," is also a detective in this. I go, but the film hasn't aged well. What was once an R-rated movie plays out like an episode of Goosebumps. That doesn't really bother me too much, but the movie's still a 6 out of 10.
Dang.
That's what it is.
I still can't see Michael's face.
I'm trying to detract you from Michael's face.
I'm not even sure I'm looking at the right cover.
It's Halloween. It's the one cover with the freaking pumpkin.
Fucking turd.
What are
His face is in the veins of the hand?
Basically, yeah. The hand is like his face. Yeah, it's like a profile.
The vein kind of goes under his eye.
Oh, you see it?
Yeah.
I see it. The bottom two knuckles are like the mouth.
Yeah.
Correct.
Ah. Like fucking Where's Waldo?
Hey guys, promote us on rate us, subscribe to us on iTunes.
And promote us.
Yeah, promote us, share, like, subscribe. Subscribing is easy.
Where's Mrs. Voorhees? In the cabin window?
Yeah, she's in the cabin.
I honestly think I had the best list of VHS posters, but that's fine. We're going to find out.
Remember what I did? 6 of mine were bumped because I wanted to have a unique list.
Well, so, that's your problem, isn't it?
I did it for the sake of the show. For the listeners' sake.
The listeners are going to now side with me, which they usually don't. I mean, when you really do go back and look at what they do, they usually side with Brandon or you, typically, Dave. So maybe occasionally, like you pointed out how I blew the Jallos, and Jason Lloyd thought I was nuts with
Bay of Blood. You were the only 10 out of 10. We got to see where Derek and Moods are. Those guys might give it 10 out of 10.
I think Derek said he was 9 out of 9 or 9.5.
You got a problem. 10 out of 10, Derek doesn't give it a 10. You're in the minority. Holy shit.
Yeah, I know, but it's a fantastic movie.
It is. Hey, listen, I know.
You blew Giallos like Dave Z blows skeletons.
And how you'll be blowing for a new gig.
Oh.
So yeah, guys, check us out. Tell your friends. Do all the good stuff. You know.
Tell your enemies.
And get on the Patreon for us. Patreon.com/explodingheads. Help us out, man. We're having a blast. That's all that matters. So we'll be back in a couple weeks. We don't know what the hell we're doing. Episode 42. I know that. You know. I think we might review an old movie and a new movie, old school style.
Old school. Yeah. I like it.
Yeah, we got that screener. So maybe we'll do this. That IFC movie.
Cool.
Maybe we'll do that. Yeah.
Cool. The suspense.
Christian's review of House really bummed me out. He's a real Ben Bummer. I feel like JP felt after everybody was shitting on It Comes at Night.
Well, I'm not going to find any love on that show because you guys both love it. Well, we're not going to be talking about it because it's not that year.
But you know what the crazy thing is? As much as I love that film, and I credit that and Fright Night with getting me into horror, I haven't seen House in a long time. So everything you say could be true, and that even bums me out more.
It's very Evil Dead 2, though. You could say that the Evil Dead 2 saw this stuff, and they did very similar things to it.
Yeah, better.
That's what's cool about it. I don't know. It looks like the same type of effects to me. It's weird. That's what I always thought, that the effects looked very similar to Evil Dead 2. I thought they were really good effects. I think Beekler did the effects for this. Am I right or am I wrong? I don't know, man.
If that's the case, which it could be, because I think he did work on part 2, which is where he met Kane Hodder. I'm not a fan of a lot of his effects, I've come to realize.
Really? No shit.
I've been surprised by some of the stuff he's done, and I've liked, but overall, I seem to find him a little sloppy.
Is he the Bunsen Beekler guy that I made a joke about?
No, he's the guy that directed your beloved fucking Friday the 13th Part 7, A New Blood.
Yeah.
You guys got to stop shitting on Part 7. Part 7 is good.
Just watch the Banana Laser commentary we did from it, and then you'll learn everything you need to know about that movie.
What? I learned that you don't like Friday the 13th as much as you say you do.
Oh, stop it. So, holy shit. Well, we're off the rails now, but hey.
Yeah, we never know how to end a show.
He did win a Razzie for worst visual effects for a Garbage Pail Kids movie.
On that note, we'll be back episode 42. Take care. Thanks, guys, for listening. We love you guys, and we'll see you soon. Hit the music.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.